They won it all nearly 10 years ago. Overland's never played for the football's all-time strangest plays. It's Overland challenging Northland for the 6A state title.
From Five Star Stadium in Thornton, News 4 presents High School Football, the 6A State Championship. Today's game is brought to you in part by McDonald's, by Apple Computers, by your local dairy farmers, by Gart Brothers, by your optics, and by Samsonite.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the State 6A Championship game between undefeated North Glen and Overland. I'm Gary Miller, along with Jim Ryan and prep sports specialist Marcia Neville. North Glen comes in 13-0, and they've been pointing to this game all season. They set their goal to win a championship early in the year, and with more on that, let's go down to the field and Marcia Neville. Marcia.
Gary, I think the big question about North Glen was whether they could bounce back and come back emotionally strong after that big upset win against Boulder in the quarterfinals. We've gotten the answer to that. Yes, they did come back, and yes, indeed, they have even more confidence than they did before. Credit a lot of that to quarterback Jeff Paplow. He's mobile, he throws well, and more than anything else, he sees the field extremely well, especially for a player who's only 5'10". His patience has made him the outstanding quarterback of these playoffs. Paplow's favorite receiver right now is Rod Brueggemann. What he will be missing is his starting deep threat at receiver. Cameron White was injured in that Boulder game, and in fact is going to miss probably a couple of months of the basketball season with torn knee cartilage as well. Still, North Glen has won their last 3 games in the playoffs. The first was a shutout against George Washington, then that big come-from-behind win to upset defending champion Boulder. Finally, they beat Cherry Creek to advance to this championship game. Offensively, they score more than 30 points a game. Defensively, they give up just over a touchdown each time out. And Gary, I think one of the keys is the North Glen defense, which has played so well in these playoffs.
All right, Marcia, thank you. Let's get the word on Overland, and we'll turn to former Bronco Jim Ryan. And Jimmy, no question about it, this is a team with a world of speed and big play potential.
Yeah, Overland probably has the best speed of any team in the state when you talk to any coach, and they must use that speed, especially on defense, to contain North Glen and their great quarterback, Paplow. And that responsibility is probably going to fall to Brian Kelly, who also returns punts for the Overland Trailblazers, and they have to keep Paplow from doing what he did against Cherry Creek, and that's pulling the ball down and running for big yardage. Offensively, they want to keep Paplow off the field, and they can do that by controlling the ball. They need to run the ball well, get it to Jennings and Hayes, but really what they need to do is have their quarterback, Josh Skinner. He's only a sophomore. He's got to stay very poised in the pocket, and when he's running that option, make good decisions, because the Norsemen are going to come after him. They got to the finals by virtue of their 7-3 record. They had back-to-back losses in the middle of their season to Boulder and Mullen, but now they come with 3 wins in the playoffs, and 2 of those came by shutouts. So they have a very good defense. They shut out Montbello and Pomona with a 1-point win over Horizon squeezed in between. So it should be a great day today. Both these teams should play very well.
An absolutely perfect day for football. Temperature about 50 degrees. It is as comfortable as it can be. There is no wind at all. Artificial turf here at Five Star Stadium. You couldn't have a better setting. So we are just about set for the state championship game, North Glen and Overland, and we'll return with the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
He likes milk and show. He's got great muscle tone. He likes milk and show. And strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and show. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. She likes milk and show. Milk, it good. With vitamin A to help keep eyes bright, calcium for healthy teeth, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows. He likes milk and it shows. It does a body good. He likes milk and it shows. It does a body.
Eyewear from Euraptics reflects the real you. Thousands of styles from the world's best designers assure you of finding just what you're looking for. And through December the 31st, during Euraptics annual sale, when you buy one pair at regular price, you'll get a second pair of equal or lesser value for one-half price. Fine instruments for your eyes. Euraptics in Cherry Creek, Greenwood Village, and now in the Tabor Center.
Back live in Thornton, the state 6A championship game just a couple of minutes away. And Jim, as we take a look at the Northglenn kids coming out and getting a huge ovation, they get tremendous support here in Northglenn.
Yeah, you talk to anybody involved in the Northglenn program, and all they talk about is support they get from the parents. And we were talking to their coach, Scott Gallis, down on the field a little while ago, and he said the parents actually arranged for a police escort for the buses to come over here. And none of the parents were here early because they were all following the buses over here. So Overland's got to overcome not only the Northglenn team, but probably a much partisan crowd to Northglenn, so they are the decided underdogs, and also playing a road game is Overland.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for Overland, of course. We also spoke with a couple of Northglenn people. They told us they were here at 7:30 this morning for the 11:30 kickoff. Wanted to make sure they got good seats, and I guess the people here at the stadium finally let them in around 8:30, said, hey, there's no sense keeping them out any longer. We take a look at Overland on the far side, and unquestionably, they're in a position today where they are the underdogs. A lot of people think, and maintained all along, that maybe the real 6A championship game happened a couple of weeks ago between Northglenn and Boulder. Northglenn winning that game 22-21. They don't buy that at Overland, and they've also used it, I think, Tony Manfredi has their coach, as a huge motivational tool to get their team up to this.
I think that's true, because he may be telling his team they think that they have this wrapped up, just as you say, by beating Boulder a couple of weeks ago. But I think you have to also take your hat off to Northglenn, who not only beat Boulder, but they came back in an emotional win to beat Cherry Creek a week later.
Do you think any of these kids got any sleep last night?
I think that they're pretty excited about it, but when talking to both coaches, they said that they were amazed at how poised their kids were during the week, that they're just kind of looking at this as another football game, and I kind of find that a little hard to believe.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
But they were talking about the kids being very level-headed.
It will be Northglenn kicking off, and Jeremy Aldrich, who's a terrific kicker, will handle that chore. Mike Jennings and Brian Kelly are the deep men. And again, remember when we talk about Overland, we talk about guys who have 4-5 speed, and even the Overland team doesn't expect to be able to move the ball consistently on Northglenn. They're really looking at some big plays today, and we are underway. Aldrich approaches the ball, and the 6A title game is underway, and this is Jennings at about the 13. Mike over the 25, the 30, and finally hitting down on the play by Chris Dye, number 24. He made the tackle, and it will be Overland with the football, and Josh Skinner, a sophomore. He is all of 15 years old, 98 of 203 for the year, so obviously less than 50%, and the touchdown to interception ratio, not exactly what you'd want it to be, 10 touchdown passes and 9 interceptions. So Skinner comes out, and the man in motion to the top of the screen is Jennings. And up the middle, they find running room for Ben Hayes up over the 45. He has a first down, 11 yards on the play, and a good start for Overland.
They're just going to attack those bubbles. Northglen's going to jump around a lot into different defenses, and now you see Hayes get the ball, and there's a big opening. See how they put a helmet right on Josh Skinner? They're going to do that all day and make him hand it off or make him pitch the ball.
The safety, Chris Dye, forced to make the tackle on the play. This is a first down from the 46-yard line. Again, it's the first man, Jennings, with one man to beat down the sideline, the 40, the 30. He's still on his feet inside the 20, all the way down to the 13-yard line.
Well, the Blazers are coming out blazing, aren't they, Gary? We're going to watch another view of this. As you see, it's just a simple straight-ahead handoff, and that's all that Skinner does, and it's Jennings that does the rest. He makes a nice cut to the outside. He got good blocking, but that's 2 plays in a row that they get good blocking, big holes, one for Hayes, one for Jennings, and There's a guy with one white shoe and one black shoe. That's interesting, isn't it?
A 41-yard pickup. And from the 13-yard line, they give it to Hayes, and the North Glen defense all over that one. Travis Betts, one of the linebackers, with help from number 66, Jason McDonald, stopping him after a gain of maybe a yard. Let's call it 2nd and 9.
And again, just a straight-ahead handoff. You're going to see this all day unless North Glen can do this very thing, and that's stop it. They don't get Travis Betts blocked on that one.
Overland, a great start, Jim. Exactly what they need and what figures to be hostile territory up here with about 7,000 or 8,000 crazed North Glen fans. Skinner up the middle again and driving forward was number 6. That's Ben Hayes. He's to about the 8-yard line, setting up a 3rd down play. Nothing fancy on the first 2 plays after they got to the 13-yard line.
I was watching Overland practice on Tuesday, Gary, and that's mainly what they worked on. That straight-ahead, quick-hitting handoff, and they're just going to try to take the North Glen defenders where they want to go up front, and then just have the backs pick a hole.
Wide receivers each way. The setbacks are split, and Skinner to throw. Looking in the corner of the end zone, it's through the hands of Matt Andrews, number 80. Jeremy Jenkins covering on the play. And I'm sure Matt will tell us later he should have caught the ball. It should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, it's a nice rollout to the left by Skinner, and he does put this ball where it is very catchable. It's behind him a little bit, and it hits him on that left shoulder pad. And when you have those pads on, the ball bounces off there very easily. But you could have had 6 for the Trailblazers on that play.
Eugene Morgovsky is 5 of 12 on field goal attempts. From the 15, it's a 25-yarder. And he got it in the air, and the kick is good. And Overland is able to capitalize on the initial drive, and they come away with 3. 9:27 to go. We're in the first quarter, and Overland is taking a 3-0 lead over North Glen in the 6A championship football game.
There are just 2 reasons to buy a Macintosh personal computer instead of a PC. 1. Macintosh does more. 2. Macintosh costs less. Which really makes your choice quite simple.
Make your wishes come true at Joslin's. Give the best up-to-the-minute styles from Seiko. Now 25% off. Innovative and elegant Seiko for him and her. For the best of times this holiday season, give Seiko. The Noritake tradition reflects superior artistry and craftsmanship. From formal china to casual dinnerware, beautiful Noritake is priced for holiday giving. Make your wishes come true at Joslin's.
Tony Manfredi's Trailblazers have grabbed a 3-0 lead, scoring on their initial possession, and now it's Overland to kick off as we take a look at Scott Gallus. He is the North Glen coach. A 57-yard drive. It took them 8 plays, and they finished up with the 25-yard field goal. And now Morgovsky will be kicking off. And Jimmy, talk about a tough act to follow. This is the young man who had to fill Scott Bentley's shoes.
Yeah, that's not easy to do.
Ends it. Sammy Garcia will go back about 5 yards deep in his own end zone inside the soccer crease and wisely elects not to run it out. He stays right there. And Jeff Paplow will bring his offense onto the field for the first time. Paplow completing well over 50% of his passes, 58% to be precise. Better than 2,100 yards, and you got to like that touchdown to interception ratio. It's 2-to-1, 24 TD passes and 12 INTs.
He is a terrific athlete, and as we mentioned in the open, they've got to keep him, Overland's got to keep him in the pocket, keep him contained.
Overland has a quick 3-0 lead. Rod Brueggemann in motion to the bottom of your screen, and Paplow to throw immediately, and fires and has his man. It's Brandon Betts for a first down to the 33-yard line. Josh Barnes, number 9, making the stop on the play, but not before they got 11, just like Overland got 11 on its first play.
And Paplow making a little statement that I can throw on your guys immediately. He's never going to go straight drop back. As you see, he rolls a little bit to his right, and a nice pass. He drills it in between the zone, and 2 Betts for the big completion.
Wide receivers each way. They're in the eye. Sammy Garcia is the second man coming through, the tailback. He got a yard on the play. before he was stopped by Casey Kirshner, the linebacker, number 44, who is, in fact, the heart of that Overland defense. North Glen will shuttle in their plays from the sideline with their wide receivers. Brandon Betts, number 22, just brought it in as we take a look at Sammy Garcia. And they come out again in the eye. Wide receivers split each way on the 2nd and 9. The pitch to Garcia needs a block, and there is no block. And Rocky Schneider, number 58, 5'11", 235-pound senior, a kid they tell us was nearly always double-teamed, able to get away from that double team and make the stop on the play.
The play was really disrupted by number 5, Brian Kelly, who came from his outside linebacker position and turned that right back into Rocky Schneider. So good teamwork on the part of Overland.
They lose 3 on the play. It's 3rd and nearly 13. 3-0 Overland leads, approaching the 8-minute mark, really just underway in the first. And Paplow with the play action loves to sprint out and does. And now Jeff forced to run, has running room over the 40, got a great block from Garcia down the sideline in the Blazer territory before he was knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line by Sheldon Pope, number 4. A big first down for North Glen on a 25-yard run by Jeff Paplow.
Did we talk about this? This young man is quite an athlete. Got good coverage. He wants to roll left and throw, and then he makes all this happen. He gets a nice block from Schaefer, and then watch this block that you described right there from Garcia, and that allows Paplow the first down yardage.
A big 3rd and 13. They come up with 25. The drive continues, and Garcia up the middle, and he jitterbugs for about 3 on the play. Brian Kelly, Rocky Schneider, both involved on the stop. So the offenses have come out blazing in this one so far, and North Glen's drive able to continue as they convert a huge 3rd down.
It's a little surprising, too. I thought both teams would come out a little tentative, feeling each other out. No, they're going right toe-to-toe from the start.
Wide receiver to the left, that's the top of your screen, is Riggins, Gary Riggins, number 21. Brueggemann in motion the same way. They give it to Garcia, and Rocky Schneider, they didn't fool him a bit. The defensive tackle made a super play. Another loss on that one. We'll have a 3rd down and about let's call it 9 coming up as they lose 2.
Rocky Schneider just makes penetration, just beats Bart Joel as he makes the penetration, makes the play. And that's the guy that Scott Gallis said scares him on the Overland defense. Rocky Schneider makes big plays, as you see in that series.
From the 45-yard line, another big 3rd down. It's 3rd and 9, again in the eye. Paplow running the sprint, and they're onto him this time with a flag on the play. Schneider got him. Also there was Brad Colburn, number 62, a 6', 240-pound senior. Now the question is, what was the deal with the marker?
Well, I think Brueggemann started toward the line of scrimmage as he was in motion before the snap of the ball, and that's what they're going to call illegal procedure.
We got illegal procedure on red, declined. We got a 4th down.
So they lost about 3 or 4 more on the play, and we're in our first punting situation. Jeremy Aldridge, number 99, handles all the kicking for North Glen. And this is really a great start for Overland, Jim. They come in as an underdog. They drive the first time. They give up a big 3rd down play, but ultimately they're able to stop the Norsemen.
Yeah, and the Norsemen have to know right now that they are going to be in a fight. This is not going to be an easy one.
Brian Kelly, the deep man. Aldridge will angle for the near side, and Kelly's going to let it bound inside the 20. Picks it up inside the 10, and there really wasn't a whole lot he could do about that.
No, he actually made a good decision to take that ball on the bounce, and, because I think it would have been down inside the 5-yard line had he not.
A 42-yard kick by Jeremy Aldridge with 6:11 to go in the first quarter. As we check out the Overland sideline, they're leading 3-0. They've got the ball, but field position a problem right now for the Trailblazers with the football spotted at the 7.
No, they would like nothing better than to take a nice long run, about a 92-yard drive right now, keep the ball on the ground, keep the ball out of the hands of Paplow.
Joe Barnes on a wing on the right. He's number 34. Skinner gives it up the middle. They've got a little running room out over the 10-yard line. Ben Hayes, the ball carrier, with a flag down.
I'm not so sure that it's not going to be a face mask. I thought I saw somebody grab the face mask of Hayes as he was going down. Yeah, that's what Paulson did.
Pretty good eyes from this distance, Mr. Ryan.
You'll probably see it.
For a man your age.
Well, that's because I have my glasses on. There it is right there. You see, I think it's Joe Schaefer grabbing the face mask of Hayes.
First down, white ball.
Now they have the breathing room they so desperately needed as the North Glen defense makes a key mistake. It is a first down for Overland with the football out at the 27-yard line.
Josh Skinner makes a lot of those calls at the line of scrimmage as to what the play is going to be, Gary. He does a lot of audible.
Really amazing. 15 years old. And with a flag on the play, and they'll blow this one dead as it gets started. The offense apparently moving prior to the snap. Really have a great day for this football game. You know, Jim, I think back to 2 years ago at the Stutler Bowl, a frozen field, and the great snow.
Ball start wide, still first down.
That'll be first and 15. Great snow controversy there. Cherry Creek beating Arapahoe 14-0. Last year we were freezing up at Folsom Field as Boulder and Pomona played a great one. Boulder winning 10-9. You couldn't ask for a better day.
Actually, I'm a little tired of you guys whining about how cold the last 2 years were.
Just started to thaw out, Jimmy. Okay. Skinner to throw, has his man. That is Joe Barnes down the sideline, puts his head down, forced out of bounds up over the 35 to the 36-yard line, and very close to a first down.
And this is what Skinner's going to try to do, just a short drop. He's going to hit a receiver just in front of the zone defenders, and Barnes going to make a nice gain of it on his own. Almost a first down. He's just about a half-yard short.
These are the downs you really like as an offense, Jim.
Waste down.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Second and very short, less than a yard. You can see the intensity of one of the young faces down there on the Overland sideline. They are leading 3-0. And second and very short on this one. And they get the first down and more as they give it to the first man through up over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Mike Jennings, the ball carrier. Bart Joel, number 50, making the stop on the play. And the first down for the Trailblazers.
Boy, they're looking impressive offensively. They're moving the ball, and you see the North Glen defenders jumping around a lot. They jump from a 4-4 to a 5-3 to a 6-2, and it just does not seem to bother the Overland front line at all.
If Overland had any doubts about its ability to compete with North Glen, those doubts have been dispelled. They know they can play with these guys. They're leading 3-0, and this is a first down, and Jennings has running room. He's in the North Glen territory to the 48-yard line. It was number 23, Casey Gamet, a linebacker. 5'10", 160, making the initial hit on the play, but another first down.
And it's Overland doing everything right as he gets inside Brandon Hipp, who was really responsible for the quarterback. And I think that the North Glen defenders are maybe worrying a little bit too much about making a hit on Josh Skinner, as they had talked about. They're going to try to put him on the ground every play to rattle him a little bit. They better start worrying about Jennings and Hayes up front.
First and 10 at the 48. And Skinner runs the option and pitches late to Jennings, who gets a convenient hop and finds running room inside the 40 to the 39. He made a big play out of what looked to be nearly a disastrous play, a gain of 9.
You are right. That ball drops down on the ground, but watch this good hop. Ozzie Smith would love these, you know, when it bounces off the turf. Any baseball player, boom, right back to him. That's a nice athletic play by Jennings, and has the presence of mind to just turn it upfield. He had plenty of room to run, and almost got a first down. Second and short situation again.
Ozzie loves the turf in St. Louis, and Jennings loves it here at Five-Star Stadium. Again, a great situation for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. Skinner looking deep for Barnes, who's out there, and he bobbled the ball. It's incomplete. Josh Barnes should have had 6.
Touchdown or no, that's a heck of a throw by Josh Skinner, right in between two defenders. He's just going to drop straight back. They do a lot more drop back than North Glen does. And look at this pass, a tight spiral, right on the money. And unfortunately, Barnes can't bring it in. Unfortunately for Overland. Fortunately for North Glen.
Yeah, this 15-year-old out of Overland has thrown 2 potential touchdown passes that were dropped by his receivers in this one. 3rd and 1. So they got a little crazy on 2nd down. Now they'll try for the first down. They've got it and more. Ben Hayes to the 30-yard line. First down for Overland. And I'm sure Tony Manfredi's game plan, if we saw it on the blackboard, would be precisely what they are doing to this point.
Oh, I would venture to say that you're exactly right. And we'll just see this from the sideline again. And look at the surge that the Overland offense is getting on the North Glen defense. They are just beating them to the punch up front and dominating the defensive line of the Norsemen.
Overland comes out with a first down, nose of the football at the 30-yard line. Overland leading 3-0 with 3:22 to go in the first quarter. First man through. It's Jennings trying to break a tackle, driving to the 27-yard line, and the flag is thrown late by the official on the near side. Jeremy Jenkins, number 37, made the stop on the play.
Another face mask call.
You know, one thing that Overland has also done, they have completely taken the crowd out of the game.
It's pretty quiet here, and it certainly is partisan to Northland.
I think these Northland...
Face mask on red. First down, white.
And Joe Schaefer shaken up on the previous play, and Joe will limp away. One of the key linemen for Northland. He plays both ways, as do most of the linemen. And Joe limping off as the football moves to the 13-yard line and a first down.
Well, I got the feeling Northland thought that they could rattle Overland with their crowd. They could rattle the sophomore quarterback, and so far, it's been the exact opposite here.
Josh Skinner has been absolutely sensational. Just got his feet wet a little bit last year as a 14-year-old freshman when Bentley was hurt. And he gave it to Hayes that time, and for one of the few times the Northland defense was right there. Bart Joel making the stop with help from Robbie Williams, number 85, a junior, 6'2", 193 pounds.
And you do have to say this about Northland. Each time, the two times anyway, that Overland's been down inside the 20, inside the 15-yard line, they seem to stiffen up on defense.
One other thing to say about Northland, everybody who describes them says they are tenacious. This is a team that may be starting slowly, but is not about to give up. Second down. Hayes spinning to about the 9, and you can see the defensive surge pushing him back. Chris Stein, number 24, one of the Norsemen involved on the tackle. We'll have a third down coming up.
Watch the intensity. Look at that ground level shot.
Those guys were really moving quick.
They are hitting. Well, we talked about how speed kills, and
I haven't seen speed like that in a long time.
That guy can run the 40 in about 2.5.
3rd and 7. Skinner on the option. The pitch to Jennings. Needs a block from Hayes. Got it. Still on his feet. Touchdown for Overland.
Wow. Once again, Josh Skinner makes a nice decision to pitch this ball. This is exactly what Northland wanted. And the relationship between the back and the quarterback isn't even that great. Watch how deep he has to pitch this ball. It's almost directly behind him, but there's so many Northland defenders committed to the quarterback. He gets nice downfield blocking. I think that was Ben Hayes that threw a block for him, but there was enough opening there for Jennings to get into the end zone for the touchdown.
Say speed kills, and Overland is proving it today. Jennings showed that speed. Morgovsky to try and tack on the 318. And it's right through the middle. And they can't believe what's going on here at Northland. 1:50 to go in the first quarter. And the underdogs from Overland having it all their own way. They lead Northland 10-0.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
In over 30 countries the world over, you'll find one thing in common. Quality gasolines and motor oils from Total. At Total, we refine and blend our own gasolines for specific driving conditions. Then we add Total Clean detergents to keep your engine running smooth and strong. No one gives you more than Total. And now, you can find Total quality right here in Colorado.
We get you there.
When Overland got the ball, Jim Ryan said they needed a 93-yard drive. Jim, they got it, and Jennings took it in.
And he caps it off, and Jennings now with 79 yards rushing already, and he gets the last 9 of those 79 right there as he takes the pitch from Skinner.
And Overland with 114 yards on the ground so far, and we still have nearly 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. And everything is going the Trailblazers' way so far. That was an 11-play, 93-yard drive that took 4:21 off the clock. A great drive and a great kick by Mordovsky. Brad DeLuiso is north of Overland, apparently, as he booms it through the end zone.
Well, will he be able to kick a 54-yarder to win today?
Looks like he could get it out there, doesn't it?
Northglenn really has to do something now offensively to show Overland that they are not going to roll over and die. But again, remember, this Northglenn team fell behind to Boulder before coming back. I believe they fell behind 21-6 in the first half. So they are a slow-starting team.
Let's see how they go on offense. As Paplow to throw out on the far side, caught by Brandon Betts over the 25. Brandon's knee was down as he got up and continued running. They'll mark it dead at about the 27-yard line. A pickup of about 7 on the play.
Northglenn loves to split their receivers out very wide, and you'll see that Brandon Betts is at least on the numbers, maybe even outside the numbers, and that just creates a lot of room for Paplow to get the ball in there. The linebacker just can't drop that quickly into the flat area.
Brueggemann wide to the bottom of your screen as the wide side of the field to work with. They gave it up the middle to Martindale. The fullback breaking away all the way to midfield for the Norseman, and a big gainer and a first down before Josh Barnes, number 9, made the stop.
Northglenn's been going mainly wide, throwing the ball a lot. Now they go to quick hitter just right over the center, and that surprises Overland. Gets the big yardage for Northglenn.
23-yard gain on Martindale's first carry. A young man who gained 855 yards this year and whose mom and dad told us before the game proudly he did that when he missed 3 games.
That's right.
First down from midfield. It's Garcia. He's got running room. Sammy tries to break away from Barnes. Can't do it, as he was stood up on the play by the free safety, Josh Barnes, number 9. But another good first down play for the Norsemen. The football to the 42-yard line. It'll be second and nearly 3.
Well, we talk so much about Paplow that we forget that Northglenn has a lot of weapons, including Martindale, who had the nice run earlier, and Garcia, who has good yardage on that one.
Second down, a short 3. Could be the final play of the first half. Up the middle, it's Martindale for the first down. Fumbling the football late, and Overland says they have it, and they do. Well, the Norseman had the first down on the play, but the ball was stripped. Josh Barnes recovers.
I wonder if this is Rocky Snyder again. Can't tell right there, but that ball knocked out. I think that is Jennings, the middle linebacker, 22, that kind of finished off the tackle and knocked that ball loose.
We may or may not get another play with 8 seconds to go in the quarter as the Blazers come to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I would say it's iffy right now. It looks like the first quarter will expire right there, and Overland is dominating the football game to this point. Overland, an underdog, playing here on Northglen's home field, and Thornton leads after 1. Overland 10, Northglenn nothing.
The biggest name in sports just got bigger. Guards Sports, now with 32 locations in Colorado. Gotta get to Guards.
Isn't this fabulous? The girls at the club told me about it. I've been dying to see it. You'll grow into the payments.
Let's call a Metro broker.
And off the master bedroom is, of course, the master bathroom. Isn't that beautiful? Or it will be once you rip out that awful tile. On with the tour.
Honey, let's call a Metro broker.
Metro brokers understand that real estate isn't just property. It's people.
Colorado's early miners didn't have time to wait for committees to make decisions when they needed a loan, so they turned to what is now First Federal Bank. Well, I'm Pete Smythe, and today First Federal consumer loan customers still count on low rates and fees and a quick decision right in the local branch. And with 20 Colorado branches, you're never far from the money you need. So for home improvement, a new car, or for any good purpose, stop into the First Federal branch nearest you. Since 1885, First Federal, Colorado's convenient consumer bank.
Gary Miller with Jim Ryan and Marcia Neville welcome you back to Five Star Stadium in Thornton. And so far, Overland enjoying a 10-0 lead and surprising just about everybody, perhaps even themselves. They send the Barnes twins wide to the right, and Skinner to throw. He's throwing it right through the hands of Joe Barnes, number 34. That is the third time in the game. A pass that was potentially catchable was incomplete. Let's go downstairs to Marcia Neville.
Undoubtedly, the fans here on the Overland sideline are real excited about what they're seeing here, and one fan in particular is particularly happy. Scott Bentley home from Florida State just for this weekend. What do you think of what your former teammates are doing?
They look real good. You know, it surprised me. I thought they'd be a little more inexperienced, but hey, they don't need any help at all.
Scott, you quarterbacked the team to the semifinals last year, didn't get as far as the championship. What's the mood on this team getting all the way to the title game this time?
I think it's great. I think last year we had a lot of leadership, and I think they learned quite a bit last year. An unfortunate injury, you know, kind of shut us down early last year, but they seem to respond this year.
Now that you've gone big time, must seem kind of strange being on the high school sidelines again.
It is a little weird. I think last year I would have thought this was crowded, but it looks pretty small compared to what I've been used to.
And I guess you're looking ahead to some kind of holiday meeting with Nebraska, right?
Yeah, you know, the Orange Bowl looks like we're getting another shot at the national championship. If we just go out and do things we know we can do, I think we should have it.
All right, enjoy the rest of the ball game. I know you will.
All right.
Back upstairs to you guys.
Thanks, Marsh. 2nd and 15, and the pass on the Overland sideline is incomplete. Caught nicely, really, by an assistant coach over there, but incomplete.
He doesn't count. He doesn't have a uniform.
I was going to say, Jim, I can't think of a young man in Scott Bentley's position who's been under the sort of pressure and scrutiny that he was under this year.
And I think he's handled it very well. Just as an outside observer, just watching through the media how he handled it, I thought he's handled it extremely well.
Talk about the weight of the world on a kid's shoulders, and he had a good season for Florida State. 3rd and 15. And they run it with Jennings. They got about 4 on the play, so the Norseman defense asserting itself. Bart Joel, number 50, made the stop.
Well, what happened in this drive, as we were watching during Marsh's interview with Scott Bentley, is Overland had a penalty that made them 2nd and 15, and really first down is the key for Overland. They've got to get the big yardage, and the 2 scoring drives they've had, they have been very good on first down, putting themselves in second and short situations.
Keith Kirshner will kick. Yeah, on their previous drives, we talked several times they had 2nd and 1, right. 2nd and 2, and it really made a difference. Low snap, Kirshner scooped it out and boots it. It'll bound inside the 45, gets that friendly AstroTurf roll. They're staying away from it barely. Betts nearly touched it.
Betts was chasing that ball. I don't know. He needed to get away from that.
Overland's leading 10-0. We have 11 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
Make your wishes come true at Joslyn's. Give a gift of false craft. Use it every day, but never call it ordinary. Classic patterns, practical features, and durability. False craft for today and always. Elegant Oneida, more affordable than ever. Flatware, stemware, even accent pieces. Receive this gift with your $100 purchase. Oneida for the holidays. Make your wishes come true at Joslyn's.
North Glen last won state in 1984. Overland has never won. And Tony Manfredi's been the head coach there for 12 years. He's been at Overland for 15. It's been a long time, and this could well be their day. They don't believe it, though, on the North Glen sideline as the Norsemen begin, and they gave it to the fullback Martindale, and there wasn't much there. Brad Colburn, number 62, made the initial hit on number 2.
And I wanted to also credit Brad Colburn really with causing that fumble earlier. I think I said it was Rocky Schneider. These kids don't get on TV that much, so I want to credit the right kid. I think he's really the one that stripped that ball out of there.
Second down, just about 10. Norsemen trailing in the ball game 10-0 and looking for the senior leadership from number 4, Jeff Paplow. And Jeff didn't have anybody to throw to, but he's a fine runner, still on his feet, stood up finally by Josh Barnes at the 42-yard line. He is close to the first down.
And this is twice that Paplo's been able to roll one way and then gain yardage by breaking contain the opposite way. Great coverage downfield by Overland, and now Paplo's going to run to his left, breaks a tackle there, another tackle there, and you see the strength of this fine athlete in Jeff Paplo.
And it was a first down, so the Norseman's drive continues. Second man coming through and finding running room as he is driving forward. Brian Kelly making the stop, by the way, on Jeremy Jenkins on the play as we take a look at those first quarter stats, Jim.
Wow, look at those yards rushing, 114, and only 14 yards passing, but total domination, not total domination, but domination on the part of the Trailblazers from Overland over the Norsemen.
Second down and just about 4 with the football at the 48-yard line. And it's Jenkins again, breaking a tackle into Overland territory for the first down. He's to the 46-yard line. Brad Colburn and Josh Barnes making the stop.
Aren't you impressed with the way these guys are breaking tackles? Not only the quarterback Paplo, but Jenkins and some of the other runners on both teams. If the tackling maybe were a little better on either side, I think that the offenses wouldn't be moving the ball nearly as well.
I'm also impressed, Jim, by the fact that the Norsemen are really maintaining their poise. They're not panicking. They're down 10-0. They have all day to go.
Yeah, they've been in this situation before. You're right.
Still running the offense. First down. Brueggemann in motion to the top. And Paplo is looking for number 14, and he shot him wide on the Overland side. It's incomplete.
One of the things that Overland's doing very well, they're covering man-to-man quite a bit, and they're covering very well. It's very hard for zones when you have playing a team that rolls the quarterback and rolls the pocket as much as Northglenn does. It's very difficult to get kids to move their zones in relation to where the quarterback's going. That's why they got to go a lot of man-to-man, and Overland's playing it very well.
And Manfredi says, you know, when we make a mistake on defense, oftentimes we have so much speed it makes up for that mistake.
Yeah.
Paplo to throw. Look out from the blind side. The pass was knocked down by number 44, Casey Kirshner, as number 1, Luis Dominguez, was coming in, and I think Paplo heard some footsteps.
Well, it's a screen play all the way, and again, I think it was man-to-man coverage, and that's why Kirshner was there on the running back, or actually, I believe it was Brueggemann, the slot back, coming in to try to catch the screen pass, but no going.
Third down coming up. Nose of the football at the 46-yard line in Overland territory. Overland leading 10-0. And Brueggemann in motion again, this time to the bottom of your screen. And Paplo with the rush on, throws along the sideline. A great catch by Garcia, and he's gone. Touchdown, Northglenn.
Different viewpoints. Sheldon Pope, number 4, is going to lay a hit on Paplo, and look, he's got 3 players in his face. Gary, he's just throwing this ball up, and you see it's underthrown. It's man-on-man coverage with Ricky Jennings, the linebacker, on the tailback, Sammy Garcia, and Garcia really got lucky that the ball was underthrown, and unfortunately for Overland, Jennings falls down. It results in 6 points.
Jeremy Aldrich with the extra point, and it is good, and Northglenn is up and off the floor and right back in the football game. Overland makes its first mistake, really, and it costs them 6. 9:01 to go till halftime, and Overland's lead is now 10-7.
You're thinking of getting a family computer. Should you get the computer more kids use in schools? Or should you get the computer that runs all the most popular business software? Or should you get the computer that's easier to use than any other personal computer in the world? The answer is yes.
She likes milk and it shows. She's got great muscle tone. She likes milk and it shows. Strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and it shows. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. He likes milk and it shows.
Milk does a body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and it shows. It does a body good.
A 7-play, 69-yard drive and a 46-yard touchdown pass. And Jim, when that ball was initially thrown, I thought it had a good chance of being intercepted.
Well, if you look at it from Overland's perspective, they had a great blitz. They get right in Paplow's face. They make him do what they want to do, throw it up for grabs. The ball's underthrown. They have good coverage downfield, but the guy slips. It results in a touchdown. So for Overland, kind of an unlucky break, but give credit to Northland for executing.
And really to Sammy Garcia for keeping his eye on the ball all the way and making the catch. And we are back underway with the kickoff, and it's Jennings taking it to the outside over the 30. Mike with a fine return out to the 37-yard line. That's where Overland begins first down. Jeremy
Again,
Aldrich,
we'll look at this. I'm sorry, Gary.
Jeremy Aldrich made the tackle, Jimmy.
All right. We have Paplow who just pumps. And look at that. He's got 4 guys in his face. I'm telling you, he's just throwing this up. It's good coverage downfield. It looked like Jennings was running the pattern for Garcia, but the ball underthrown. And Jennings can do nothing about it once he slips down. And there's Sammy Garcia in the end zone.
33-yard return there by Mike Jennings. The Jennings, by the way, are not related, Ricky and Mike, for Overland. They run the option and the pitch to Mike Jennings, and look at his speed as he crashes forward over the 45 to the 46-yard line, a yard short of the first down. 2nd and 1 coming up. Chris Dye, number 23, made the stop.
I really like the way that Jennings turns the ball upfield when he takes that pitch. You saw it on the touchdown. You saw it again there, and here we are again, Gary, 2nd and 2.
Mike Jennings having a big game, approaching the 100-yard mark, I'm sure, at 92 yards right now. Overland with the football, 2nd and a yard. And more running room for Ben Hayes, and Ben is into Norseman territory, down at about the 45-yard line before Casey Gammett, number 23, made the stop. First down, Overland. So they're showing they weren't discouraged by the previous drive, and the offense is moving for the Blazers.
And Ben Hayes, another guy who missed some time. You see, at 650 yards, he missed at least 2 games. Actually, he only missed 1 game, I believe. There was 2 other games where he only had 1 or 2 carries. He had some injury problems, or he probably would have approached 1,000 yards himself. Yeah,
he separated his shoulder against Cherry Creek earlier in the year and missed the Montbello game, and has really been about 80% for a couple of weeks. They say he's fine now. Skinner's pass is deflected off the fingertips of a lunging Josh Barnes and incomplete.
Josh Skinner does not put this ball in the money. As you see, if he throws it to the outside toward the sideline, he had Barnes open, but he really overthrew the ball and threw it to the wrong side of his receiver. Only 1 for 6, 14 yards, but still impressed with the poise of that young sophomore.
And also, 3 of his passes have been dropped. He easily could be 4 for 6 in the game. 2nd and 10. It's Jennings, and this time the Norsemen are ready for him on that one as he was down by Brandon Hipp. And let's go downstairs to Marshall.
Thank you much, Gary. Things have livened up a little bit here on the Northland sidelines, as you might anticipate. And with me is a gentleman who sure wishes he was out there playing this ball game. Cameron White, the deep threat for Northland, went down with a torn knee cartilage in the Boulder game. Cameron, what's it like to be on the sidelines watching the big one?
I'm hating it right now. I really don't feel like sitting here when I know I'm out and I know I can help my team more. I can contribute a little bit.
They were down 10-0. What was going on the sidelines at that point?
Well, if you look at all of our first half games, we all come out slow, and then the second half we flip it around. But if we can come out like we do in the second half, I think we can bring it.
You like what you're seeing out here from your teammates right now?
Well, not yet. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of different things, but for the all, I think they're going to be coming out.
Must have been strange to see Sammy Garcia be the one streaking down the sidelines. That should have been you.
That should be me right there. But I'm glad Sammy can bring it, so I'm glad he did that.
They've got plenty of talent to back up where Cameron's not able to play, guys, but they sure do miss him out here.
Pass to Jennings for the first down. The give to Hayes now, and he is driving inside the 20-yard line to around the 18 and very close to another first down.
And actually what Northland is missing is less Cameron White. They are missing a lot of defensive plays right now. Missed tackles, and they're getting blocked very well. And I have to tip my hat so far in this ball game anyway to Tony Manfredi, the head coach of Overland, for a great game plan.
Another first down, football to the 19-yard line. This is a big drive for Overland following the Norseman touchdown. Jennings still on his feet. And look at him try and use his power as he continues to drive. Jeremy Jenkins, number 37, made the stop on the play.
And what North Glen has been doing is not letting their outside linebacker, in that case it was 45 Brandon hit. He came down and actually tried to make the tackle. In previous plays, he's been going right to the quarterback, taking himself out of the play, and that's where Overland's been able to get big yardage on that quick handoff off tackle.
Mike Jennings, 100 yards rushing, and we are midway through the second quarter. Hayes up the middle, still on his feet, driving toward the goal line, touchdown. They answered the challenge.
They did. After North Glen comes and gets the 46-yard touchdown pass, Overland comes right back. And on the strength of a running game that has been outstanding all day, it's either Jennings or Hayes. This time it's Hayes. But look, Brueggemann missed him. And then watch how he just carries as a gamut into the end zone, and a number of tacklers from North Glen can't bring him down.
Give credit to that offensive line, opening holes all game, and the kick is good by Morgovsky. And Overland, just minutes after the touchdown by North Glen, they really did answer the bell. They come right back and score, and with 5:45 to go till halftime, Overland is leading our ball game 17-7. Jim, that is a great drive for Overland in the throes of what happened to them, a mistake on defense which cost them 7.
Yeah, this is a team that knows that they're the underdogs coming into this game, so when North Glen puts itself on the board and pulls to within 3, Overland could have easily just gone by the wayside and said, well, we know that North Glen's a good football team, but they don't do it. That's some mental toughness right there. That's mental toughness on the part of Overland.
Some great blocking by Overland, too. Dahlberg and Schneider, Barton, Colburn, Montgomery up front. And we also saw, I believe Kilgore was in the game also. So they did a great job. They're opening up the holes. And as Manfredi said, you know, when you have this kind of speed, anything can happen.
Yep.
An 8-play, 63-yard drive. And the touchdown by Hayes. And Overland kicking off. And Garcia's back in his own end zone. And again, Sammy elects not to run it out with 5:45 to go. And now we'll see if the Norseman offense can get right back in. North Glen 13-0 on the year. And as we told you earlier, they won state in 84, lost in the state title game to Arvada West back in 72. The Overland drive, 8 plays, 63 yards. It took a little over 3 minutes on the clock, and Hayes the touchdown. And they blow this one dead as the play develops.
Offside on North Glen. No. So actually, it's got to be offside on Overland, right?
Well, he initially pointed to North Glen.
Yeah, I know. I think he pointed the wrong way. Yeah.
And a dead ball, encroachment on White, still first down.
So a 1st and 5. And that will be, we shall see if they can take advantage of that situation. Jeff Paplow brings his team to the line with Brueggemann in motion. And they give it to Martindale, the fullback, and Chad over the 30 to the 32-yard line. He got 12 on the play and a first down. Casey Kirshner, number 44, who is the heart of that Overland defense, making the stop on the play, but not before he gained 12.
A little misdirection as Garcia comes in, tries to block the linebacker, and then again, some missed tackles. Actually, Kirshner's able to drag him down, but not before the first down occurs.
Chad Martindale, number 2, lines up in split backs, and they give it to Chad. He's over the 35, out to the 39-yard line. But 8 more on the play. Rocky Schneider, number 58, made the stop. 2nd and 8 coming up. And again, the Norsemen, having been burned by Overland, showing their poise and coming out and running the offense, keeping it on the ground and trying to pound out those first downs.
There you go, trying to start the wave.
Second down, and Martindale will spin for the first down up to the 46-yard line, almost to the 47. Another first down for North Glen.
Here comes Martindale. Very similar play to just a minute ago. And there, Brian Kelly gets caught inside a little bit, and he can't make the play. He's got to just contain that a little bit more and play outside leverage on the block from Garcia.
First down, football at the 47-yard line, wide receivers each way. Again, the backs are split. And Martindale meets Rocky Schneider up close and personal. Schneider was right there.
You know, talking to the Northland coaches, they go strong tackle, strong guard, weak tackle. They flip-flop their offensive line. A lot of times they do that to get the matchups they want. And the Northland coaches wanted Joe Schaefer on Rocky Schneider. But so far in this ball game, I think Rocky Schneider's won that battle.
He's having a very big game, and they told us at Overland he's always double-teamed. Usually enables Casey Kirshner, the linebacker, to make the tackle, but not that time. Rocky did it all by himself. 2nd and 12 off the play action. Paplow looking for someone downfield. Now will run it out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Brueggemann involved in a little bit of a tussle downfield. He's pushing and shoving with number 35, Shannon Deloche, but that's quickly broken up as Paplow was unable to find anybody.
I watched the semifinal game with Paplow really putting it on Cherry Creek. He really was almost single-handedly beat the Bruins, and some people were describing him as a mini Fran Tarkenton. I can't disagree.
Yeah, I think Manfredi called him a mini Doug Flutie.
Yeah.
You can't be a mini Doug Flutie, though, can you?
There's no such. That's an oxymoron.
Third down, the pass for Brueggemann, and the usually sure-handed Rod Brueggemann has that one go through his hands. It's 4th down. Brueggemann is the youngest of 14 children, we understand. Number 14 for North Glen. They are all their names I hear start with the letter R. They had a couple of brothers played here earlier. I think there was a fellow named Rodney and maybe somebody named Roland and Ryan. Yeah,
Roland and Ryan.
Youngest of 14.
That time Rod had a chance to bring in the completion for a first down, but couldn't do it.
Wonder if that's why he wears the number 14. Aldrich will kick. Jeremy gets a good snap. He's a good punter, averaging about 45 yards per kick during this season, and the ball is out of bounds. The official walking up right about the shy of the 20-yard line. Boy, Overland's really in good shape right now, Jim. 3:42 to go till halftime. If they don't make a major mistake following a 32-yard kick there by Aldrich, they are in very good position as they nurse this lead and head for the locker room at halftime.
I think that's a good point, but you certainly don't want to maybe nurse it. I think what you want to do is run your offense as you have so far during the game and hope that it's enough to maybe even run out this clock and maybe get a score with just a few seconds to go.
I'm sorry, Jim. That was the Dan Reeves in me. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, first down play, and Jennings drives to the 24-yard line. A gain of nearly 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 coming up. Travis Betts, number 43, made the stop.
You're talking about the Rush Limbaugh offense. Super conservative, right?
Extremely conservative. And everything goes right to the right. Again, we mentioned just a perfect day for football. They said it would be windy, but we have no breeze really to talk about. The flag is limp, and it's not at all been a factor in our game. Perfect conditions as Josh Skinner brings his team to the line at 2nd and 5. And lobbing downfield and open is Joe Barnes at the 45-yard line. Chris Dye stopped him right there. Skinner nailed it right on the money. It's a first down. 21-yard pickup on the play.
Skinner's looking to the left for Barnes all the way. What happened was Jeremy Jenkins, number 37, you see him right on the 30-yard line. He tried to jam Barnes, and it got right by him as he slipped down, and that got Barnes wide open behind the right cornerback, and the ball just a little bit underthrown, or it might have been bigger yardage.
2:50 to go till halftime, 17-7 Overland, and they've got the football with the first down. And the sophomore is in trouble. And he manages to throw, and it was nearly intercepted. He threw it right into the hands of Ryan Ayers, number 53.
You can't believe it. How did I drop that? Well, it hit him in the gut. And what Josh has to do right here is try to just get rid of this ball. And that's what he's going to try to do, but maybe not right into the gut of a defender. Actually right into the chest of Ryan Ayers.
But Josh probably deserved that one. He's had his receivers drop 3, and now he threw what should have been a sure interception, and they couldn't hang on to that. 2nd down. Skinner fumbling the snap. He tried to fall on it. It appeared he was the first man there, but the officials will get in there and say, yes, it still is Overland ball, 3rd down.
You know, at practice on Tuesday when I was watching Overland, they had a number of fumbled snaps, and the coaches didn't seem to be that worried about it, but they've had a couple. of them so far this year, or this game, and there it is again as the ball actually never gets into the hands of Josh Skinner, but Overland's got to be very careful. They do not want a turnover at this point in the game.
Here's the big play of the drive so far. Does it continue, or can the Norsemen come up big? And they run up the middle, and that is Hayes for the first down, spinning to the 43-yard line. And Overland ran a quick hitter right to Hayes, and he got a first down.
Well, you say, why do they run just a quick-hitting play on third down and long? Because of this. They've been able to do it all day, and that is get their running backs right into the secondary, almost untouched. That's what happened with Ben Hayes. And again, right off the tackles, either the right tackle or the left tackle has been open all day for the Trailblazers.
Third and 9, they get 13 on the play. The drive continues with 1:44. Skinner looking deep for Barnes. Joe is there. He's got it. Football caught at around the 17-yard line on the play.
Somebody needed a shotgun to put that ball out of its misery. The ball was just wobbling down there, but it's effective. Josh Skinner avoiding the rush, and look at that ball. It's certainly not a tight spiral. I think that ball slipped out of his hands a little bit, and Gamet just cannot stop his momentum enough to come back and get a hand on this ball as Barnes could, and it ends up the completion.
Josh Barnes with the catch. And with 1:32 to go, there is an Overland timeout. We take a look at Josh. He's caught 35 on the season, good for better than 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. Little hand fighting downfield, and Josh was the better hand fighter on that one and made the completion.
It's Josh to Josh on that connection. Josh Skinner to Josh Barnes, and they make it work. And it's really gone Overland's way all in the first half, and even when balls have not been thrown as well as they probably need to be, they still are able to come up with the catch, and in this position, actually putting them in position for another score late in the half.
This telecast, an exclusive presentation of KCNC-TV and the National Broadcasting Company under rights granted by the Colorado High School Activities Association. Any reproduction or retransmission of this game without the express written consent of KCNC and NBC is prohibited. Overland on the drive in the waning moments of the first half. Still 1:32 to go. Leading already 17-7 and looking to send themselves into the locker room with an even bigger lead. It's first down. And what a hit by Ryan Ayers. As soon as the ball carrier got the ball, Ayers got him.
One of the few times that Northglenn has gotten penetration, and he just splits what appeared to be a double-team block, and neither the guard or the tackle got enough for the defender, Ryan Ayers. Nice play by that young man.
Mike Jennings, who's rushed for better than 100 yards, didn't gain an inch on that one. Second down. And they pitch it out to Hayes. Hayes in the open field turns his back on the potential tackler and drives to the 15-yard line. Travis Betts making the stop on the play. Rod Brueggemann also there.
I believe this is a lateral right here. Oh, it sure is. That's thrown well behind him, so that's a lateral. If he doesn't catch that ball, he's going to have to fall on it, but as it is, he falls forward for a short gain.
Another timeout with 56 seconds to go before a third down play coming up, third and just about 9. We wondered if Overland, Jim, would be conservative on this drive. I think they've proved they'll be anything but conservative.
You're right. I mean, they've come out and thrown the ball and thrown it effectively, not necessarily technique. It didn't look pretty, but they've thrown it effectively in that they're moving the chains, and now they're in scoring position.
Scott Gallus on the Northglenn side, I'm sure not quite believing what he's seen so far in the first half. His team coming in, most people assumed they would be the favorite. But indeed, it's been Overland dominating so far. But as we said, this is a team that's shown the ability to come from behind before.
He's got a very senior-laden team. 9 of their 11 starters on offense are seniors.
The Barnes,
7 on defense.
The Barnes is split each way. Joe to the right and Josh to the left. Hayes in motion to the top of your screen. This is third and 9. Over the middle is Kirschner. He's got it. Touchdown, Overland, with a flag thrown late.
I think they're going to get called for excessive celebration, I think.
Flag was thrown, it appeared, after Kirschner was headed back upfield. It is a touchdown as we take another look.
Skinner rolls a little bit to his left, and then it's kind of a throwback, and it looks like number 43, and that's Travis Betts, might have that tight end on a man coverage, and Kirshner's able to slip behind him and gets the touchdown. Another good execution, but another good play call by Manfredi in the Overland Trailblazers.
And really a well-designed play as they had wide receivers each way, a man in motion going one way, and they put the tight end right over the middle, isolated on a linebacker, and there you are. Eugene Morgupski will try the extra point. He has been perfect so far. The indication of a penalty against Northglenn, which was declined on the previous play, and now we'll get the PAT with Overland leading 23-7. And really, I think shocking, most of the 7,000+ at the ball game today. The kick by Morgupski is right there again. Tony Manfredi playing part coach, part cheerleader on the Overland side, and that a tremendous drive for his team. And you talk about a team having all the momentum as Heath Kirshner beat the linebacker on the play and was able to leap up and grab the football for the 15-yard touchdown.
And then he gets excessive celebrating, I think, but why not? If you're Overland, you've got to be very happy with a 24-7 lead. You've got to be celebrating a little bit. However, as you mentioned, Northglenn used to coming from behind. They've had to do it a few times during these playoffs, and they are certainly not out of it, especially when you have a quarterback like Paplow. This guy can strike from anywhere.
I hope you'll join me tomorrow night, Sunday night, 10:35. It is Gary Miller, Sports Extra, the place for extra coverage of the Broncos game against San Diego. And we'll also have the very latest on the Andres Galarraga contract talks, which we think will be culminated tomorrow. We think everything should be hunky-dory tomorrow. Join us tomorrow night, 10:35, right here on News 4. 9-play, 80-yard drive, Jim. Took him 2 minutes and 52 seconds, and really perhaps the defining drive of this game. With a 17-7 lead, and now upping it to 24-7. Garcia from the end zone, and he cannot run it out. Yeah, by rule in high school, you cannot run the ball out if you catch it in the end zone. It is a touchback. First down for Northglenn. They have 57s to work with, and we'll see what they try and do with it.
And I think they'll try to get something on the board. Why not? They do have a terrific offense, and as you see, Overland's scoring drive, again, 9 plays, 80 yards. They've done everything right. But Northglenn, I don't think will sit on this ball, but I think they have their 3 timeouts remaining.
Northglenn from their own 20. Wide receivers, they have trips left, and they go up the middle with Martindale, and that did not exactly fool Casey Kirshner. A frustrating first half for a team that has been described as extremely tenacious. The guys in red from Northglenn, the Norsemen. Paplow to throw. The short one to Garcia, who caught their only touchdown pass, a 46-yarder earlier, forced out of bounds with 28 seconds by Brian Kelly. And we really haven't talked much about Brian Kelly in the game.
No, it's been a lot of other players, especially Rocky Snyder, on defense for Overland. But Brian Kelly, probably one of the fastest linebackers / defensive backs / punt returners / anything else you want to do. He does it all.
Yeah, they tell us that he has scored, and we find it hard to believe, 10 touchdowns on defense over the past 2 seasons. That is a remarkable stat.
That is.
This is 3rd and 9, and Paplow will roll to the right. Looking, has lots of time. Byers has his man. Brandon Betts with the catch. Should be good for a first down. It is up over the 30 at the 32-yard line with 22 seconds to go till halftime.
Betts made a nice adjustment finding the opening in the zone as he wanted to hook, but then saw that there were some defenders there, so he shortened up his hook, and Paplow was able to hit him. And that's where the seniors come into play. I think these guys in Northglenn, people describe it to us, they've been playing together since they were 9 and 10 years old, so they really know each other very well.
And this is a day they have pointed to for a long time, and so far it is not going at all well. Keep in mind, they have a pretty good kicker as we look at Brandon Betts' stats for the season. Their kicker is Jeremy Aldrich. Jeremy can kick them, they say, from about 45 yards. That means they need to get to about the 28-yard line for him to have the opportunity, and not much time to do that with just 22 seconds to go till half.
He tried I think it was a 51-yarder last week against Cherry Creek, and it hit the end line, so he does have a strong leg.
First down for Northglenn. Paplow being chased by Snyder and Domingos, throws on the near side for Betts, who is belted out of bounds, but they say he was inbounds when he came down. They keep the clock going, and now they'll stop it with 12 seconds to go. And Betts is slow getting up, and now he's not getting up.
Watch Paplo right here. He's being chased by Rocky Schneider. Now watch this move right here that he does on Dominguez, and then that buys him enough time to get the ball off. If he didn't have that athletic ability, watch this move right here where he just pulls number 1 right there, and that buys him the extra time. Otherwise, he's tackled for a loss at the sack.
Betts was hit hard, as you could see, by Shannon Deloche, and Brandon did get up, so he is apparently okay. A little sore, but otherwise okay. With 12 seconds to go till halftime, it'll be a 2nd and 1 coming up. That, of course, not nearly as important as the fact there are only 12 ticks of the clock left before the end of the second quarter. And there's Brandon now with 4 catches today for 41 yards.
Well, they're just going to have to try to throw a couple of deep passes right now and then get a quick timeout or get out of bounds because they are still many yards away from field goal range.
Been a most surprising first half, eh, Jim?
Yeah, it really has. I don't know if shocked is the right word, but I thought this ball game would be, if not a lot closer, be going more in Northglen's favor.
Yeah, if the score was 24-7 at half, I think we all thought Northglenn would have the lead. Not today. Paplo off the play action, has a man on the near side. Garcia, it's intercepted and dropped by Deloche, and that could have been big trouble for the Norsemen because there weren't many red jerseys in front of Deloche.
There sure weren't. And I think that Paplo just did not see this man. He gets everybody else out to the right. They flood the zone out to the right, trying to get Garcia all by himself. But Deloche reads it very well. And unless Northglenn has somebody jump off their sidelines like Pomona did, he might have had a touchdown.
When that play was, when the ball was thrown, it kind of reminded me of the touchdown pass to Garcia, except this time Deloche, the safety, gave the linebacker some help and nearly went the other way. 6 seconds to go till halftime. 3rd down, and they're going to run a reverse. And Sammy Garcia is going to throw deep downfield for Brueggemann. It's up for grabs. It's in, complete with a flag thrown back at the line of scrimmage, and no time left on the clock. And the indication, personal foul against Overland, roughing the passer, so we should get another play, even though there is no time left on the clock. A defensive penalty against the Trailblazers.
That's kind of an unusual call, especially after there's been 2 handoffs, and he's really a threat to run.
A personal foul.
Oh, that is.
The pass of White will extend the half by 1 down. 1st down.
And the Overland player just ducked his head and hit Sammy Garcia up under the chin. And you just can't do that with the crown of your helmet.
Yeah, Tony Manfredi saying, I've been coaching football a long time, fellas, and I haven't seen that called in a long time. He's been at Overland 15 years.
And what he's trying to say is, Garcia was a runner, not a passer, because he took a handoff, but it doesn't matter. He was hit late, and I thought that he was hit with the helmet.
Final play of the half, barring another defensive penalty from the 43-yard line, and Paplo to throw, of course. And Jeff fires it up there for Brueggemann downfield. It's going to be overthrown and intercepted, in fact, by Barnes. Joe Barnes coming up with the interception as the half ends, and Joe will get credit for the interception, and we have come to halftime, and who'd have believed it? Northglenn favored, some say by a touchdown, maybe more. Go into the locker room, and it's been all Overland. Overland is leading our game 24-7, and you can see the Trailblazers, they have a little bounce to their step as they head for the locker room at halftime, thoroughly enjoying what's gone on in the first 24 minutes of our game, leading, as we said, by a fat 17, 24-7. Quickly downstairs to Marcia.
Okay, thanks, Gary. With Tony Manfredi, coach of the Overland Trailblazers, you've got what you want on the scoreboard right now.
Well, we got to contain 4. I mean, that's important, and we've got to maintain a lot more consistency on offense. You know, we had a chance on a turnover, and we just went 3 down and out, and that's not what we're looking for. We need to control the ball a little bit more, need to catch the ball, and defensively, we just got to contain 4 and, you know, not let them hit those quick traps. We cannot let down. We cannot let down. We've got to play for another 24 minutes of football, and this is it.
They're known as a second-half team.
Absolutely. We know that, and we know that, and that'll be coached up big time.
There you hear it from the coach. There's a lot more left to do in this one for the Overland Trailblazers. They've got a lot of respect for the Northglenn North, and they should.
All right, Marcia, thanks. And Tony Manfredi.
He's a little tense, isn't he?
A little tense, yeah, I thought so. His Bill McCartney halftime imitation. All right, Overland leading 24-7, and we're in the 6A state championship game, and the Trailblazers at the half up by 17 points.
The first half of today's 6A state championship game has been brought to you in part by McDonald's, by your local dairy farmers, by Joslin's, by Total, by First Federal Bank, and by Metro Brokers.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
Craftsmanship shows in every set of eyewear from Europtics. Add to it thousands of styles from the world's best designers, and you have an exceptional eyewear store. Europtics annual sale runs through December the 31st. When you buy one pair at regular price, you'll receive a second pair of equal or lesser value at one-half price. Fine instruments for your eyes. Europtics in Cherry Creek, Greenwood Village, and now in the Tabor Center.
A lot of folks do their sprucing up this time of year, fixing up the house, picking out a new car, or just cleaning up old bills. First Federal Bank can help with a consumer loan. They're as near as your phone or one of 20 Colorado branches with some of the lowest loan rates and fees in the area. So why not polish up your piece of Colorado with a consumer loan from First Federal Bank? Since 1885, First Federal, Colorado's convenient consumer bank.
Gary Miller with Jim Ryan, halftime, 24-7, Overland leads. We already heard what Tony's going to tell his team. You know, Tony's been around for 15 years, 12 as the head coach, and I think he's not about to overlook the second 24 minutes. He is yet to win state, and this is his golden opportunity.
I think he's scared to death, to tell you the truth, because he knows, as he mentioned, he's going to play it up and coach it up big time, that Northglenn is a second-half team. And I think that Scott Gallus is going to tell his club, look, we've been here before. We are a senior group. You know, we're a very mature team. We know what we have to do, and that's just go out and execute our offense, and especially execute our defense. We've got to tackle better and get some of those ball carriers on the ground.
But it would seem to me that Gallus really has the tougher job because his team came in as the favorite in the football game. In addition, he said all along, 13-0 wasn't enough. We had to win state for this to be a successful year. I'm not sure Scott feels that way, but the community feels that way, and I know to a large extent his players feel that way.
And they did get to 13-0, and they did it by virtue of some comebacks, most notably against Boulder. So that's what I mean by saying we've been here before. We know what to do. That's no guarantee that it's going to come out and happen for them, but I think they have to come out with a lot of intensity and really come out on fire in the beginning of this third quarter.
We shall see what develops. We're at halftime with Overland leading Northglenn, surprisingly so, 24-7.
He likes milk and show. He's got great muscle tone. He likes milk and show. And strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and show. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. She likes milk and show.
Milk, it does a body good. With vitamin A to help keep eyes bright, calcium for healthy teeth, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and show.
It does a body good.
She likes milk and show.
It does a body.
Make your wishes come true at Joslin's. For your home, a window of opportunity. Levelor custom blinds are on sale now. Buy one, get one free. Let our custom decorating service show you what Levelor can do for your home. Distinctive home fashions by Crowsill are value priced every day. Just pick a pattern and go from there. Everything coordinates from bed to bath. Decorating is easy with Crowsill. Make your wishes come true at Joslin's.
If you could see inside your suitcase when you travel, you'd see how Samsonite Hardside protects what's inside. Because Samsonite has a crush-resistant outer shell and a durable hardside construction that's designed to hold up over the long haul.
Daddy, did you bring me anything?
Samsonite Hardside. After all, you've got your life in there.
Isn't this fabulous? The girls at the club told me about it. I've been dying to see it. You'll grow into the payment. Let's call a Metro broker.
And off the master bedroom is, of course, the master bathroom. Isn't that beautiful? Or it will be once you rip out that awful tile. On with the tour. Honey, let's call a Metro broker.
Metro brokers understand that real estate isn't just property. It's people.
Welcome back to Five Star Stadium. Overland leading at the half, 24-7. Time now for our halftime show, and let's go down to the field in Marcia Neville.
You know, Gary, North Glen High School football is trying to win a state championship. On the field right now is a North team that's already won a state championship. The North Glen High School band, winners of the state 6A band championship. Get this, 4 years in a row. They've won 8 championships since 1980. That competition is held annually at Mile High Stadium in the fall. Today they'll be playing the music of American composer Aaron Copeland. The band director is Mike White. Drum majors Shauna Bellendier and Amy Noldner. The color guard captains are Colleen Anderson and Aaliyah Van Loo. The drum captain is Aaron Murphy. And I invite you to listen in particular for the percussion line. They have been state champions 7 years in a row. So, ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Shauna Bellendier and Amy Noldner, the 4-time state champions, North Glen's Marching North. And a big night. Not only are they performing here at halftime, but they will also be performing in the News 4 Parade of Lights tonight in downtown Denver. Parade coverage live on News 4 kicks off at 7:30 tonight. So if you like what you hear from North Glen, you may want to tune in and hear them in the Parade of Lights tonight. Going all out, doing double duty here at the State 6A Championship, and then again tonight to welcome in the holiday season.
Computer should grow with your family. That's why this Macintosh makes it easy to add all sorts of things, which you can also add to this ordinary PC. This is how a Macintosh grows. This is how an ordinary PC grows. Now, which computer is growing on you?
Once in a great while, there comes a gift idea so timeless and fine, it can only be a classic. And when it's a gift that was perfected over a half-century ago and is still handmade by master craftsmen who blend only the finest and purest of nature's ingredients, it can only be the exquisite work of art known as Enstrom's Almond Toffee. World-famous almond toffee from Enstrom Candies. 2nd and University, Cherry Creek North, or call 1-800-ENSTROM.
In over 30 countries the world over, you'll find one thing in common. Quality gasolines and motor oils from Total. At Total, we refine and blend our own gasolines for specific driving conditions. Then we add Total Clean detergents to keep your engine running smooth and strong. No one gives you more than Total. And now, you can find Total quality right here in Colorado.
If it were clothing, it would likely be the basic black dress. If it came in a bottle, champagne. If it were a piano, it would certainly be grand. But it's a floor called Mannington Gold. A floor designed to start beautiful and stay beautiful for years to come. In fact, we guarantee it. Mannington Gold, the look that lasts.
For Mannington floors, see your nearest Carpet Exchange store. Our prices will floor you.
Back at halftime of the 6A state championship football game where North Glen is trailing Overland 24-7. Currently being entertained by the North Glen Marching Band. State champions, the best in the state now, 4 years in a row. In case you're wondering, is Hoedown. And it's easy to tell why North Glen High School has been the band champions as long as they have. We'll let them play away and take a break. When we come back, we'll look at a small town celebrating a very special state championship. Stay with us.
She likes milk and it shows. She's got great muscle tone. She likes milk and it shows. Strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and it shows. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. He likes milk and it shows.
Milk does a body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and it shows. It does a body good.
I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference.
What is Gai Choi?
Mustard greens.
What kind of nuts go in Kung Pao chicken?
Cashews and,
How can you get a full-time phone line at a part-time price?
What was that again?
You can't be an expert at everything. With US West Standby Line, you only pay for the time you use plus a small monthly fee. So it's the perfect additional line for faxes, credit cards, or those busy times when you need another phone line. Hey, you know Chinese food.
Forks are for wimps.
And we know phones. The small business group at US West.
Colorado's early miners didn't have time to wait for committees to make decisions when they needed a loan, so they turned to what is now First Federal Bank. Well, I'm Pete Smythe, and today First Federal consumer loan customers still count on low rates and fees and a quick decision right in the local branch. And with 20 Colorado branches, you're never far from the money you need. So for home improvement, a new car, or for any good purpose, stop into the First Federal branch nearest you. Since 1885, First Federal, Colorado's convenient consumer bank.
Back at halftime at Five Star Stadium in Thornton, where visiting Overland leads the home team north 24-7. I'm Marcia Neville, and you know, this is just one of 3 state championship games being played today, and 4 state football titles have already been won earlier this football season, including one by the small town of Rye in the 2A classification. It was an emotional playoffs for that town, located about 25 miles south of Pueblo. The same week, the Thunderbolts went out and recorded their first of 3 big upsets. 4 of their classmates were killed in a car accident. This is a team and a community that has endured the lowest of lows and is now experiencing the highest of highs. They did it last weekend at Cedar Edge on the West Slope. On November 10th, the southern Colorado community of Rye was devastated when 4 local high school students were killed in this terrible automobile accident. Last Saturday, their emotional roller coaster hit a high when the Rye Thunderbolts played Cedar Edge for the state 2A championship.
Everybody remembers the kids, and every game that they've played since has been dedicated to the kids.
The emblems on their helmets showed those kids were not forgotten.
We knew who we were playing the game for, as I said before, and it just carried on through the field. It wasn't really, the coaches really didn't say anything, but the players knew.
They dedicated their season to them kids, but I think they're playing for state championship right now.
To many, this game was part of the healing process.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take a negative that you can never change, try to make it as positive as possible. What the accident did for the community is bring them all together, and since that time, the kids, the community, even surrounding communities have joined in, and you can see the results here. The kids have really been together completely.
It's also kept this man on the sidelines. He's the father of 2 of the kids killed in the accident. His son Jeremiah was a member of this team. He wouldn't talk on camera, but it's easy to see that this is an important part of his life now, part of a bond with the community that transcends a mere football game.
We know we're there for each other, and win or lose, that's not going to change how we feel about each other or how our community carries on after this game.
I had a chance to share the Thunderbolts championship excitement at a pep rally yesterday, and the important thing here is that it was just like any other championship celebration: screaming, cheering, standing ovations, and a whole lot of laughter. While the memory of their 4 classmates still fills their hearts, the students at Rye are determined to let go of the sadness, and as one of the young football players told me, it's now time to get on with the rest of their lives. Rye High School, by the way, celebrating their very first football championship ever, but they are no strangers to state titles. They are the defending state champions for 2A basketball as well. When we come back, more 6A football action.
The biggest name in sports just got bigger. Gart Sports, now with 32 locations in Colorado. Gotta get to Gart's.
Individuality and a strong sense of style reflect themselves in eyewear from Europtics. The ability to show the world who you are through your eyes. The annual sale, running through December the 31st, lets you buy 1 pair at regular price and get a second pair of equal or lesser value at half price. A great opportunity to express individuality. Fine instruments for your eyes. Europtics in Cherry Creek, Greenwood Village, and now in the Tabor Center.
In over 30 countries the world over, you'll find one thing in common. Quality gasolines and motor oils from Total. At Total, we refine and blend our own gasolines for specific driving conditions. Then we add Total Clean detergents to keep your engine running smooth and strong. No one gives you more than Total. And now, you can find Total quality right here in Colorado.
Isn't this fabulous? The girls at the club told me about it. I've been dying to see it. You'll grow into the payment.
Let's call a Metro broker.
And off the master bedroom is, of course, the master bathroom. Isn't that beautiful? Or it will be once you rip out that awful tile. On with the tour.
Honey, let's call a Metro broker.
Metro brokers understand that real estate isn't just property. It's people.
The second half of today's 6A state championship game is brought to you in part by McDonald's, by Apple Computers, by your local dairy farmers, by Gart Brothers, by your optics, and by Samsonite.
Gary Miller with Jim Ryan, 24/7 Overland leading at halftime. And let's go down, first of all, before we get to the highlights, and Marcia Neville on the field. Marcia.
On the field with Coach Scott Gallus. What did you tell the guys at halftime?
Well, Marcia, we just need to execute offensively and defensively. You know, they've been running that option real well. We got to get to the pitchman, and offensively, we got to start making things happen.
You guys are known as a big second-half team. Why that reputation?
Well, I don't know if it's so much second-half team. I just don't think we played real well in the first half. You know, we tell our kids that we're here to play 48 minutes, and I really firmly believe that our kids will do that.
Making any adjustments in the second half, or just going to plan on doing what you've done all season?
Well, we just got to turn things up front. Okay, right now they're handling it. And, you know, if we plan to stay in this game, we can't let that continue to happen.
All right, we'll look for it in the second half. Gentlemen, from the man himself, what North Glen needs to do to pull out this championship game against Overland.
All right, Scott Gallus said that Tony Manfredi's team is handling his team, and here comes the visual proof. It was 3-0 Overland when the Trailblazers came right back downfield, and they didn't settle for 3 this time, Jim.
Yeah, you see North Glen committing a lot of its resources, so to speak, a lot of its defenders to the quarterback, and that leaves Jennings open for the 9-yard touchdown off the pitch, and that culminated a 93-yard drive.
And then we thought North Glen was getting back in the game with this play.
And this is all that North Glen has had offensively all day, the 46-yard touchdown from Paplo to Garcia, and was a well-executed play as Overland looked to have it covered and had pressure on Paplo, but they come up with 7 points, but really, that's the only offense for North Glen all day.
And then Overland came right back the very next drive as we take a look initially at Jennings, but it'll be number 6, Ben Hayes, from the 9-yard line.
And this is a play that's been killing North Glen. You heard Scott Garcia say we got to get to the pitchman. Well, they better take that quick-hitting fullback before they do anything else, because there's a 9-yard touchdown by Ben Hayes to make it 17-7.
And in the final minutes of the half, we wondered if Overland would sit on the lead. Forget about that, because Skinner looked for his tight end.
An excellent call by Tony Manfredi, and he gets Kirshner wide open in the end zone. Maybe not wide open, decent coverage, but just not enough from the linebacker. 15-yard touchdown for Overland.
And Overland getting set to kick off to start the second half, and so far, Overland has dominated this game on the ground, 182 yards, Jennings 104 yards rushing and a touchdown. Hayes, the touchdown we just saw, 77 yards for Ben, and a total offense in the game for Overland of 273 yards. North Glen 186, and we are underway to start the second half. And again, in high school, the ball kicked into the end zone, caught there by Garcia. You do not have the option of running out the football as we take a look at more first half stats.
And what North Glen has to do is up its offense. You heard Scott Gallus say we need to execute offensively. 186 yards of total offense, not that bad, but there you see 2 turnovers also, and that hurt a number of North Glen drives, or at least 2.
So North Glen comes out to start the third quarter down 24-7, and Garcia's got the handoff, driving to the 23-yard line before Sheldon Pope put a stop to that. Number 4, 5'9", 160-pound sophomore Sammy Garcia getting 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6.
You know, Gary, you can't always count on coming back. You say, yeah, we're a second-half team, but, you know, they have to do it right now, in my opinion, early in this third quarter to come out and prove that they're the team they've been all year.
Wide receivers each way, setback split on 2nd and 6. It's the fullback Martindale, and knifing through Casey Kirshner, plugging the hole. A loss on the play, 3rd down coming up.
When they try to go wide, it just doesn't seem like they're getting everybody blocked, and in this occasion, it's Kirshner coming through and making a nice stick, a nice solid tackle, which I told, or we talked about, both teams had kind of shabby tackling in that first half. They need to improve that, but both teams have had much more success on the quick-hitting off-tackle or off-guard type of play.
3rd down and a big one early in the 3rd for the Norsemen. They go slot right, 3rd and 8. And Paplo is looking. He's got time, fires on the sideline through the hands of Betts. It's incomplete. It would have been a 1st down, instead 4th down.
Betts waited a long time for that pass, and it took Paplow a while to find him. When he finally did, he was open and very catchable ball, but Brandon couldn't bring it in.
So it is 3 and out for the Norsemen. They go nowhere on their first offensive series to start the third.
That's got to really pump up Overland even more. If they needed any reason to be psychologically higher than they were going in at halftime, it's stopping the Northland Norsemen on their first drive.
Aldrich to kick, and a line drive angling on the near side takes that turf bounce. Kelly will watch it go out of bounds at the 29-yard line. First down for Overland with a 24-7 lead, dominating to this point the 6A championship game. A 49-yard kick for Aldrich. He got a very friendly roll on that one.
I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, but Aldrich's been kicking the ball very low and not giving Brian Kelly really a good opportunity to catch it and make some yardage.
Out of the huddle come the Trailblazers. Their first series led by the 15-year-old sophomore, number 8, Josh Skinner, who has shown the poise of a veteran in this one. And he hasn't let the fact that several passes have been dropped interfere with his play. And Jennings, the pitch for the first down up over the 40, still on his feet, finally forced out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
I really think there's a difference in the intensity level that both teams are playing with. You see Jennings take the pitch, and watch the speed as he just outruns Schaefer. He can't get him, but then he's into the defensive backfield. He breaks Gammett's tackle, and then breaks another tackle. He can't hold on. Number 50, Bart Joel, he can't hold on, and Jennings just running with an intensity that is incredible.
He has 121 yards rushing in the game following that 17-yard pickup. And they go to Hayes, driving to midfield on the play, 2nd and 6 coming up. News Corp pleased to provide real-time closed caption programming of this game, as well as all Broncos games. This, in addition to the real-time captioning of News 4 at 5:30 a.m. and 5 p.m., as well as the Colorado Evening News at 6:30 and News 4 at 10. Second down and 6. It's Jennings to about the 48-yard line, a gain of a couple on the play.
Again, even when he's wrapped up, falling forward for extra yardage after initial contact. And coaches love that. Coaches love players who have that kind of running ability that will get that extra yard after a defender has made contact. Bobby Humphrey from the Broncos was so good at that. I really believe that's what made him such a good runner.
Wide receivers each way. 9.5 to go in the third. Overland has the ball, leading 24-7. Third down play. Jennings is spinning, and he will not get the first down. The Norseman's standing, or actually knocking him down right at the 45-yard line. Joe Schaefer, number 75, making the tackle. It'll be a 4th down, and I don't think Tony Manfredi's about to take any chances close to midfield on 4th and a little more than a yard. He's sending the punter in.
And I think that Northland's made a little bit of an adjustment in the second half. We talked about it. Their defensive ends were really worried about the quarterback running the football and just letting the fullback go through. Now they're kind of crashing down on that quick-hitting play, and we'll see if it makes a big difference here in the second half.
Heath Kirshner, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game and is also the punter in the ball game, and now the officials indicating timeout as Overland had only 10 men on the field.
Yeah, they were trying to get their 11th player on the field, but not before the play clock was about to expire.
So Overland forced to burn a timeout with 8:47 to go prior to the punt.
You wonder how fragile, Gary, Overland is at this point. You know, if one big play by Northland will make them break.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
Make your wishes come true at Joslin's. Create a beautiful bath with Fieldcrest, lush towels in contemporary colors, original Royal Velvet Classics, and the newest decorator jacquards. Give the best from Fieldcrest. Give a Pulsar watch. Designs that define personal style. Now take 25% off Pulsar collections for him and her. Give Pulsar because timing is everything. Make your wishes come true at Joslin's.
Gary Miller along with Jim Ryan, 8:47 to go, and we are ready for the punt now by Kirshner. Just one man deep, that is Sammy Garcia, looking directly into the sun, so that could be problems for number 15 downfield. Kirshner gets the snap, gets the kick away, and actually it's Brandon Betts downfield to take it at around his own 2-yard line, and he could be in big-time trouble. He is. Ryan Waldron, number 10, downfield on a 45-yard kick by Kirshner. And if there was a return on the play, it was only a yard or two.
Well, the coach will have a little talk with Brandon Betts when he gets to the sideline, because as you see right here, he's going to field this ball on the 2 and actually goes back to the 1-yard line. And certainly he needed to let that ball roll into the end zone, and the Norseman would have had it on the 20, but as it stands, only on the 5-yard line. So a mental error from the outstanding receiver from the Norseman.
Not exactly where Northland wants to be, but exactly where they find themselves at their own 5. Brueggemann in motion on first down. And Paplow is spinning. It's intercepted by Ricky Jennings at the 10. He's going to take it in. Overland's got another touchdown.
Well, they're celebrating on the Overland side, but basically this side of the stadium is extremely quiet. As you see, Paplow going to just try a quick hitter to the tight end. Well covered, no matter who is or who he's trying to throw it to. There's not much room. As you see, Jennings actually makes a nice catch. That's difficult to do when that ball is thrown by a quarterback or anybody that's that close to you to bring it in. Jennings is able to do it and score the touchdown on top.
Morgovsky to try the extra point. And Soccer styles it up there, and earlier Skinner had thrown one that could have been intercepted by Ayers in almost the exact same situation. Right. It didn't happen. He couldn't hang on. And this time Ricky Jennings, again, he's not related to Mike Jennings, but the Jennings guys are having a sensational game. Overland on the fat end of a 31-7 score, and I'm not sure whatever Scott Gallus told his team at halftime, but right now the Norsemen have to be incredibly deflated.
They really are. I mean, you talk about a second-half team, and I mentioned I don't think you can count on that. And I was trying to make a point before the break that you don't know how fragile Overland is, that if Northland got one break, would they then break themselves? And, you know, knowing that they're the underdogs and they're playing a pretty strong, undefeated Northland team, but now you really have to look at Overland and say they're not breaking at all. They're becoming mentally tougher as the game goes on.
And Eugene Morgovsky was spent the entire game kicking touchbacks. About to see if he can boot another one. Well, the experts said, and who are those experts, by the way?
They.
That Northland.
Those they.
Yeah, that Northland was the favorite in this game. It has been anything but for the Norsemen. And finally, Morgovsky kicks one that doesn't go into the end zone. Garcia from the 5, Sammy up to the 20-yard line, and that's where Ryan Waldron, number 10, put a stop to the return. Another look at the interception, Jim.
Well, Paplow trying to throw into traffic. He's had such an outstanding year, and as you pointed out at the top of the show, 24 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions, but this time he throws it right into the hands of Jennings, who is going to gallop away with 6 points.
1st and 10 from the 20, and Jeff has to keep throwing now. On the slant, he has Betts up to the 28-yard line.
This is a difficult situation because now Overland knows that Northland's got to throw the football in order to get back in this ball game, and it's going to make it more difficult on the Norsemen.
I think Tony Manfredi is still a nervous wreck on the far
Absolutely. He's not even thinking about winning this game at all in the middle of the 3rd quarter. He knows that Northland's a very outstanding team.
They give it to Martindale, and Chad is spun around by Rocky Schneider. He got to the 32-yard line. And that is a 1st down. And again, we've talked about the Norsemen maintaining their poise and keeping their offense going and not trying to do anything maybe beyond their capabilities. But now, Jim, with 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, maybe the game plan starts to go out the window. You start going downfield.
Yeah, you have to start going downfield, and we'll see if Overland can contain Paplow not only is throwing, but is running, too.
Paplow's pass caught by Brueggemann. I believe that's Rod's first catch of the day. It should be good for first down if they give him his full progress on the play. Number 14, who has caught 49 passes this season, good for over 700 yards and 9 touchdowns, finally gets into the offense, and apparently it's close enough to call for a measurement.
And it's good execution. It was nice coverage by Barnes, but Brueggemann's able to come up, and I think they're going to measure it?
Yeah.
But it was good execution. And what Northland has to do right now is says, look, we can't get it all back at once. We can only get one touchdown at a time, so we have to just look at our offense, execute it as we know how. There's still 6:44 to go in the third quarter, so the game's anything but over, but each possession we have to make sure that we get some kind of score on the board.
And Freddie's still pacing on the far side like a... That's one of the assistants. All right, not Tony there. But still, they're not exactly relaxed on the Overland side of the field as they measure on the Northland side, and they miss the first down by that much. Will be a second and just inches. So one of those downs where maybe Jim will play action and
try it deep.
Go for it, yeah.
But I'm sure that Overland's going to be coached to play just a little bit looser, not so conservative, not prevent, but just make sure you do not get beat for a touchdown.
Overland defense led by Schneider and Kirshner has done a sensational job. And Paplow on second and short gets a good block, looking deep. Brandon Betts out there. The ball knocked away and the flag is thrown. Now in high school, pass interference will be 15 yards from the line of scrimmage.
This is a nice throw as he's rolling to his left and then trying to throw back to his right. And Deloche just gets in there a little bit too early. As you see, he just runs right over Betts, and pass interference all the way.
Brandon was out there. Jeff's pass got there maybe a little bit late, and Deloche trying to cover up ran into the receiver. He was clearly beaten on the play.
And that's what it is. He knew he was beaten and just figured that he had to run as hard as he could to catch up. And then with the ball thrown underthrown just a little bit, that caused him to run into the receiver.
You see the penalty yardage. Penalties really have not been a major factor in our game. 6.5 to go in the third. 31-7 Overland as Northland tries to get up and off the artificial carpet here. Martindale to the 37-yard line. Brad Colburn stopped him. That's an Overland youngster, and you can see still the concern there. They're not celebrating on the Overland side by a long shot.
A little pensive, isn't he?
I think, taking his cue from his coach. 2nd and 6. Sammy Garcia needs a block and couldn't get one.
Strength of Overland all year, Gary, has been on defense, and they continue to prove it in this game, giving up only 7 points in the first half on a kind of a fluky 46-yard touchdown pass. But other than that, including the pass interference that put the ball in the position that it's in now, Overland's defense has played very well.
And we'll see if they can continue playing well on this big third down play. You might be in two-down territory here on 3rd and 6. The pass for Brueggemann through his hands. It's up for grabs. It's intercepted. And Kelly going the other way. No, check me. It's Barnes. Barnes to the 40 and down inside the 30-yard line with a flag on the play.
Now, the flag is not in a position where any pass interference would have been called. It might even be an illegal block on the return. But here comes Paplow. He's going to roll to his left. Got a moving pocket. He gets a little heat, and as he throws the ball, that ball just tipped up, and I think it originally hit the receiver. I don't think it was originally tipped by Barnes, but he gets a gift as it bounces into his hands, and it's Paplow right here who saves the touchdown. Well, I don't know if he did or Barnes just tripped over his own foot.
Joe Barnes with the interception. I believe it will stand, and I think we'll have a penalty on the return.
Block on White below the waist after the interception. 10 yards penalty. 1st and 10, White ball.
Here's the pass, and we'll see if, I can't tell right there if Josh Barnes gets a piece of that ball or Brueggemann actually just tips it up into Barnes' hands, but either way, Overland continues
Yeah, they just continue to dominate our game with 5:04, and Skinner to throw and looking deep. One-on-one coverage downfield. He's got his man, and see you later. Matt Andrews going all the way. 69 yards to Matt Andrews, a junior, 5'11", all of 145 pounds, a young man who in 13 previous games had caught 4 passes.
Wow, Josh Skinner, they're just going to, after the turnover, they're going to try something to score quickly, and it works. Right over the outstretched hands of Brandon Betts from North Glen, and Matt Andrews is going to take it all the way. Credit Josh Skinner with putting the ball right in the hands of Andrews, who really a tough catch running almost directly away from the quarterback, but he's able to haul it in and take it the distance.
What a day for a 15-year-old quarterback, as Morgovsky's PAT is wide to the left. He finally missed one, but at this point it doesn't appear to matter. 4:54 to go in the third, and it's all Overland heading apparently for their first state title ever, leading 37-7.
When people work together, they get more done. When people work together, they save time and money. That's why every Macintosh computer comes with networking built in. Sort of makes you wonder why other computers don't.
He likes milk and show. He's got great muscle tone. He likes milk and show. And strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and show. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. She likes milk and show.
Milk! It does a body good. With vitamin A to help keep eyes bright, calcium for healthy teeth, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and show.
It does a body good.
She likes milk and show.
It does a body.
From the end zone now, let's take another look at that 69-yard touchdown pass from Josh Skinner to Andrews. Okay, we're going to do that after the kickoff. All right, we can wait. 4:54 to go in the third. It is 37-7. And what a day for Overland and Tony Manfredi, the year after Scott Bentley graduated. It is indeed ironic. Sammy Garcia at the 20 to the 27-yard line, and let's see if we can roll the touchdown one more time. A 69-yard hookup for the Overland Trailblazers.
Both of Josh Skinner's last 2 completions have gone for touchdowns, and see how Andrews is running almost directly away from the quarterback and Betts. A little sad there as he realizes what the fate is of the end of this play anyway, as Betts lays on the ground knowing the ball that went over his head was eventually going to end up in the end zone and end up 6 points for Overland.
First down for the Norsemen. They have scored just once in the game, that on a 46-yard touchdown from Paplo to Sammy Garcia. And Jeff sprints to the left, throws back through the hands of Brueggemann. It's incomplete.
Some days are just like this, you know, and for North Glen, it just seems like nothing can go right. They've had a number of drop passes, very uncharacteristic of their quarterback to throw interceptions like he has. But it's a tough day, good day for Overland.
Yeah, a remarkable day for Overland. And it is, I think, somewhat ironic as we take a look at Andrews, the young man who just caught the touchdown pass. It is ironic that the year after everything, Scott Bentley moved on to Florida State, that Overland wins it all for the first time. Sammy Garcia over the 25, still running down to the 32-yard line, just short of the first down. It'll be a third and less than a yard coming up as we go down to Marshall.
Hi, gentlemen. I think one of the things that might get lost here is the Overland Trailblazers football team looks to win its first ever state football championship, is that the Trailblazers are already 6A state champions in another sport, volleyball. And with me here are 2 of the state championship volleyball players, Liz Titus and Renata Pollard. Renata, what did you guys say to the team this week, the football team, about what it's like to win a championship?
Well, they're all pretty nervous about, what are we going to do? How do we play any different? And I was like, I just told them it's just another game. You just got to go out there with all your heart, give it all you can.
You guys are getting pretty excited for them right now. You know what a championship feeling's like.
Yeah, it's you can't imagine. I mean, it's just the greatest feeling ever to know that you're state champion.
And and it's unusual when a school can win a volleyball title and a football title, both of the big sports in a single season.
Yeah, it's I can't believe it. I mean, we won in 2 games, and now they're just killing these guys, and I'm so happy for them. So really proud of them.
So if things hold up here for the Overland Trailblazers football team, they will join the volleyball girls as state 6A champions, making it a double kind of fall, gentlemen, for Overland.
You know, Jim, kids don't beat around the bush. I mean, the young lady said, and now they're just killing these guys. How come you and I haven't said that?
Well, we're thinking that, but...
And the bottom line, they're just killing these guys. First down for Northland. Brueggemann in motion. And Paplo with that little play action that I don't think is going to fool anybody. Fires for Brueggemann, deflected in the air. It's incomplete. And there were 4, maybe 5 white jerseys around the only man in red. I think they have to pretty well forget the play action fake because nobody's going to fight on that.
Well, even if he does hand the ball off and they get 8 or 10 yards, at this point, Overland doesn't care. But Overland has done a great job of taking away the backside receiver. See, he wants to roll left and then throw back to the drag guy coming from all the way on the right side of the formation. And you have to really give Overland credit for knowing where that guy's going to be and really searching him out.
Norsemen go trips left. That's 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Second down. And they've got Brueggemann wide open for the first down. Along that Overland sideline, he battles to the 47-yard line on the play.
I think
Second catch for Brueggemann. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I think, Gary, that Overland has North Glen scouted very well because a lot of the plays that were hurting Cherry Creek and some of the other opponents for North Glen have just not been successful against the Trailblazers. And they have a little success on this play here. And almost a fumble, but it did go out of bounds.
Trips right this time. North Glen starting to open it up with 3:07 to go in the third. They're down by a big fat 30. And Paplo throwing deep has his man. It's Riggins. Gary's got the pass for the first down. Gary Riggins' his first catch at the 19-yard line. The senior, 5'11", 160 pounds, who brings in the plays alternating with Betts, makes a big reception to the 19 on the play.
And this time, Overland is in the zone. As we mentioned, when the quarterback rolls, the zone has got to move in relation to that quarterback, and in that time, they weren't able to do that, and that's why Riggins was able to find the seam in there. It was a big seam for the big gain.
And a big 34-yard gain, first down. Slot left this time. And they give it to Garcia, and Sammy just doesn't have a blocker in sight. Breaking through Brian Kelly, the tremendous linebacker, and he's had a relatively quiet game, but this young man, they tell us clearly a Division I prospect among the teams interested in number 5, Colorado.
Why not? When you have speed like that, he's really a big playmaker. He is the young man that was running down the sideline and was knocked down when he was running for a touchdown against Pomona after an interception last week.
And a lot of people in Overland wonder why they don't play him more on offense, but they have so much talent. Maybe they're just trying to save him a little bit and not kill him in high school. Paplo's pass is through the hands of Rod Brueggemann, who is having a forgettable day. They talk about a young guy who has done it all for his team.
They had trips and a couple of receivers run off, and then Brueggemann's going to come underneath, and he is wide open. The ball a little bit high, but very catchable, and you see the frustration on the face and the body gestures of that young man.
Yeah, they talk about him being a sensational competitor, and you know that losing in the way they're losing right now is eating at him probably more than any other Norseman. Paplo on 3rd and 15, and Brueggemann goes in motion. Jeff still has it. Looking downfield in the end zone, it's behind Brandon Betts. It'll be a 4th down.
Certainly, North Glen going to go for it, but once again, Overland doing a good job of containing Paplo. He doesn't have those running lanes that he's had against other teams. And you'll see him, he does the fake, and now he's going out to the right. And there's Kelly, and number 1, Dominguez in his face, and he's just got nowhere to go, either throwing or running the football.
4th down, 15 to go, and we'll see if North Glen can keep the drive going with 1:57 to go in the third. Paplo 10-22 in the game. Jeff looking down the right sideline, man on man. Martindale cannot come up with the football. It's incomplete. And the Norseman drive is stopped by Overland. Sheldon Pope was covering on the play, and they never really came close on that one with 1:52 to go in the third.
Again, good game plan defensively by Overland and offensively, and good coverage, good execution by the Trailblazers defense.
Hey, Jim, during your outstanding high school career in South Jersey, your college time at William & Mary, your wonderful professional career with the Broncos, talk to me, if you will, after the play about the times you guys went into a game favored and wound up getting blown out. How many times could it have happened? All right, here's Overland with the football. They give it to Jennings. How many times did it happen? Can you recall?
Well, I can recall a couple times. You know, Broncos, we got upset. As a matter of fact, we go into Super Bowl 22 favored to beat the Washington Redskins, and they just get blown out, not unlike Northland's getting right here. And that is probably the worst feeling because you are expected to win. By getting blown out or even losing, you're really hurting yourself. If you win the game, you're only doing what you were expecting to do anyway.
Second down, second and just about 8. And Skinner, who's been marvelous, to Jennings, who's been equally marvelous, up over the 30 to about the 31 before several of the North Bend players put a stop to that one. It's got to be deflating because we did talk to both teams, both coaches during the week, and this was, and why not, they're 13-0. This was a confident group of guys in red.
Oh, yeah, they were very confident. They talked a lot about shaking up the poise of number 8, Josh Skinner, the outstanding quarterback for the Trailblazers. They have not been able to do that at all. And we talked about Northland, really a senior-led team, whereas Overland has a number of sophomores starting, including their quarterback.
Team speed. Tony Manfredi's group has it. And on third down, they gave it to the first man up the middle, and they are very close to the first down. It was Jennings on the carry. And it appears where they're going to spot the football just at about the 29-yard line. It is indeed a first down for the Trailblazers with 25 seconds to go in the third. Got the ball actually up over the 30 at the 34-yard line, and this will, I would think, be the final play of the third quarter. Jennings again, and he fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by the Norseman on the final play of the fourth. Final play of the third as we head for the fourth. It is a first down for Northland, and the fans still with them. They're still cheering them on. Final 12 minutes coming up. It's all Overland, 37-7.
Right here.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
Samsonite's Adventure Series luggage is perfect for those active vacations. It's sporty, easy to carry, and like every Samsonite, quite durable. The Adventure Series, for all you can pack into a vacation.
In over 30 countries the world over, you'll find one thing in common. Quality gasolines and motor oils from Total. At Total, we refine and blend our own gasolines for specific driving conditions. Then we add Total Clean detergents to keep your engine running smooth and strong. No one gives you more than Total. And now, you can find Total quality right here in Colorado.
Final quarter about to begin with North Glen trailing 37-7. Take a look at number 53, Ryan Ayers, recovering the fumble on the final play of the third.
And at this point, ahead 30 points, this is the only thing that could really hurt Overland right now is a number of turnovers. And I'm not so sure he wasn't down at that, but he was actually rolling on the defender, so he had not touched the turf. So it is a fumble. But that's the only thing at this point, Gary, I think could really hurt Overland.
All right, Jim, in your long, illustrious career, have I overdone that? The biggest lead you ever blew?
Monday night against the Raiders. 24-0. We're up at halftime. You remember that game?
Yeah, I do. I sure do.
I try to forget it, but unfortunately I remember it.
First down for the Norseman. Schneider after Paplo. Jeff turns it upfield and gets a couple of yards on the play. Overland's Brad Colburn, who's been involved in many of the tackles, with Luis Dominguez making the stop. Another look at the statistics, and Overland better than 100 yards in total offense over North Glen in the game.
Difference being a number of turnovers for North Glen. One that resulted directly in Ricky Jennings running an interception in for a touchdown.
Yeah, 4 big turnovers for the Norsemen. 2nd and 8. And Schneider after Paplo, who's throwing for Beck. So I make it Riggins. He's got it for a touchdown. With a flag on the play. And a personal foul against the defense. It is a touchdown to Gary Riggins.
Well, North Glen has scored 2 touchdowns now, both of them quite unusual. As I thought Josh Barnes had the interception. It looked like it went right into his hands. He couldn't believe it as the ball went through his hands, and then the receiver catches it, goes in for a touchdown. Barnes is left on about the 15-yard line looking at his hands. How did that go through?
Well, we've heard North Glen is a great second-half team. We're going to find out if they are an unbelievable fourth-quarter team. They've scored. It took them only 40 seconds to do it.
Foul, roughing the passer on red. We got half the distance to the goal on the extra point. Touchdown's good.
We'll see where the roughing comes in. It looks like Rocky Schneider puts his head into the back of Paplo, but you see Josh Barnes thought he had that ball, and on the replay, actually, that ball was beyond his outstretched fingertips just a little bit. Results in the touchdown.
Scott Gallus electing to go for 2 with his team down 37-13. Paplo in trouble, looking, fires, it's incomplete. 2 men there, they each were diving. Kevin Watson, 81, Brandon Betts, 22, but the ball incomplete, the 2-point conversion fails. We got to give these fans some credit, Jim. They are still hanging with their team down 37-13.
Well, you have a lot of parents here. The community up in North Glen is very behind it. I mean, they're not going to give up on these guys. And we'll take a look at this touchdown once again from the end zone. You see Paplo again rolling, and then he lets it go, and then there is Schneider that just pushes him in the back, and the ball does get in there in front of Josh Barnes for the touchdown.
As a linebacker, what'd you think of the roughing?
I thought it was ticky-tack call.
Wasn't all that rough.
Well, you know, it only hurt Overland on the extra point where it, and actually that ends up not hurting him. Instead of going from 2 yards on the extra point, they went from 1 yard, but North Glen goes for 2 and misses it anyway.
Well, 11:20 to go. You throw caution to the wind, and I guess we can anticipate an onside kick with North Glen racing out with 9 guys on the lower part of your screen. There's the short kick. It's bobbled, and I believe it is recovered by Overland, number 35, Shannon Deloche. Right there, they had the sure hands people up there, and the Blazers have it.
The hands team, they call it. You get up there on the onside kick, and Deloche made a nice grab to get that ball after it did bounce off an Overland player.
Two-play scoring drive, a 38-yard touchdown pass to Riggins, the payoff, and it took him just the first 40 seconds of the 4th period.
Marcia interviewed Cameron White, the North Glen receiver who's hurt, and it was really Riggins that the coaches said had to step in for him, and he comes up with the big play.
He did on that one. First down, 41-yard line, and Jennings pushes the pile forward for a couple of yards. Brandon Hipp, number 45, defensive end with terrific speed, making the stop on the play for the Norsemen. But turnovers so often tell the story in a game. Against Cherry Creek, North Glen forced 5 fumbles, and here today it's been North Glen turning it over 4 times. Skinner, 7-13, again, several passes, 3 that we can think of in receivers' hands and drops, so the stats could be even better. The pitch to Jennings, has to do it himself, and almost does, up over the 45 to the 47-yard line, pushed forward by the tacklers,
Ryan Ayers made the stop, third down.
Man, North Glen has about 6 guys right at the point of attack. Watch, Skinner's going to pitch it early, and now look at all those red jerseys, and Jennings is still able to come up with about a 4-yard gain, and that's a great individual effort by the young man.
Overland giving ground. Apparently, there was a flag on the play as they talked things over with Brueggemann of North Glen. Here comes the official explanation.
Holding on white, repeat second down.
Well, they could have had a third and about 8, I believe. Instead, they'll go back and it'll become second down and just about 14.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect Northland to take too many of those penalties. They'd rather have the down.
Exactly.
They need the ball back.
Yeah, the clock, the major factor now. Second down. A rush on Skinner. And Josh almost threw it away and almost threw it into the hands of one of the North Glen defenders who was pounding the turf in frustration. Jason McDonald, who is 6'4" and a basketball player, went leaping in the air but just couldn't quite come up with that one.
Well, Josh Skinner does what he's supposed to do, and that's get rid of this football. Don't take the sack. Don't you lose that much yardage, and he almost threw it right into the waiting hands of Ryan Ayers.
Yeah, it was Ayers, number 53. If had it been McDonald, who's 6'4",
he might have had it.
Yeah. Of course, they list Ayers as being 6'3", so he's pretty big too. 3rd and 15. Inside handoff. There's Jennings. They've crossed up the defense several times by running plays like that on 3rd and relatively long. This time it'll be 4th down now for the Overland Trailblazers with 9:51 to go, and I know the Northland fans right in front of us are watching that clock and seeing their season disappear, a season they will remember fondly, but still a season that won't end the way they had anticipated it would.
Well, Northland calls a timeout at this point, and I think they called it just to stop the clock. And you know you're in trouble with 9:51 in the game if you're calling timeouts to get the clock stopped, but that's what Northland is reduced to doing at this point.
Be sure to be with News 4 tonight at 7 o'clock for the News 4 Parade of Lights. Larry Green and Maurice Sikowski will be your hosts for an hour of holiday pageantry. Greg Moody will be there in the middle of it all to get you up close to the lights and the balloons and all the excitement. It is a holiday tradition you won't want to miss tonight at 7 on News 4. You're home for the holidays. It really has been a great day weather-wise. We mentioned earlier that we have not had great games, the last great weather days for games the last couple of years. This has been perfect. We understand the Northland band will be in the parade tonight trying to maybe shake the cobwebs following this one. Heath Kirshner to punt. And Heath got it away. Might have been partially blocked. Doesn't go very far. Bounds inside the 30-yard line, takes a roll the other way. They'll down it at the 31-yard line. Right now, Overland just trying to avert disasters because if things go according to form, this game belongs to them.
The biggest name in sports just got bigger. Guard Sports, now with 32 locations in Colorado. Gotta get the Guards.
A lot of folks do their sprucing up this time of year, fixing up the house, picking out a new car, or just cleaning up old bills. First Federal Bank can help with a consumer loan. They're as near as your phone or one of 20 Colorado branches with some of the lowest loan rates and fees in the area. So why not polish up your piece of Colorado with a consumer loan from First Federal Bank? Since 1885, First Federal, Colorado's convenient consumer bank.
The officials letting them play during a very brief timeout, so as we come back, it's 3rd and 2 coming up following an 8-yard gain and then an incompletion with 8:56. Northland worked out of the no huddle there quickly, Jim, but with the incompleted pass, they went back into the huddle with the ball.
Well, they need 4 scores even to tie. 3 touchdowns and a field goal just to tie this game up. You'd expect they're going to have to go no huddle the rest of the game.
And on 3rd and short, they gave it to Martindale up the middle, and forget about it. Ricky Jennings was there. Rocky Schneider's been there all day long. And now what does Scott Gallus do on 4th and relatively short yardage inside his own 40?
I think he's going to have to put the ball up. He's going to certainly go for it. You got no choice. As I mentioned, you need 4 scores. There's 8 minutes and 33 seconds to go, and the clock is running. You're going to have to throw what I expect to be a short type of pass just to get the first down at this point.
4th down, trips left for the Norseman. Pablo looking, firing deep for Betts, who could not make the dive, and a flag is thrown.
The Norseman might get a break here, Gary. Might be called defensive holding, as I think Brian Kelly and Brandon Betts going down the field were bumping each other. It's going to be pass interference.
Well, we'll take another look.
And here's the, you don't see it there. The contact actually took place before you saw the 2 players come into focus. And you'll see it from the end zone as Paplow is going to try to go deep on a 4th and short. And again, you don't see the contact, but I guess that's Joe Barnes actually on the coverage and not Brian Kelly. But either way, the contact was actually made before the ball had gotten very far down the field. I think it just left Paplow's hand.
1st and 10 for the Northland drive, able to continue. They're in a desperate situation, down 37-13. And they had a man in motion, so this play's coming back, and the pass is thrown over the middle. It is caught nicely as Brian Kelly makes the tackle on number 37, Jeremy Jenkins, but they had trips left, and the man in the middle was moving prior to the snap, and Jenkins is shaken up on the play.
Northglenn does get a couple breaks here in the 4th quarter as they have the incompletion on 4th down, but they do get the penalty against Overland, and now an unlucky break for them as they have one of their players, Jenkins, down and shaken up on the field.
We have illegal motion here.
Both of Northglenn's touchdowns have come on long passes, and other than that, Gary, their offenses just never seem to get in sync. They've been able to move the ball with some consistency up and down the field, but just always either a turnover or one bad play here or there stopping each drive.
Well, you take a look at the stats for the season there, Overland and Northglenn, and still hard to believe what we're seeing today, Jim. Jeremy Jenkins able to get up and off the field under his own power, so we're glad to see that. The 5-yard procedure penalty going back to the 48-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15. These teams met several common opponents during the year, Jim. I don't know what we get out of scores from common opponents, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. See if we can draw any conclusions on this 1st down. Paplow looking to throw, and Jeff almost slipped, evaded one. Oh, look at that open field move. Jeff gets back to the 48-yard line before Jennings, and Ricky was trying to strip the ball, makes the tackle, but he only gained about 4 yards. Still, it's a remarkable run by Paplow.
Yeah, this is a heck of an effort, as you mentioned, for a 5-yard gain, but look at that. Is that Fran Tarkington or Doug Flutie or John Elway? I can't tell, but that's Jeff Paplow with outstanding athletic ability, and credit Jennings coming in and catching him really from behind.
Yeah, both these teams played Fairview. Northland beat them 17-12. Overland 35-12. And they have a couple others that we can run down on.
Both played Boulder.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. And Paplow is throwing deep, and there's nobody there. Incomplete, 3rd down coming up. They both played Cherry Creek, both beat Creek. Overland beat them 12-10. Northland beat them 22-17 in the playoffs. They each played Boulder. Here's the big difference, Jim. Boulder beat Overland 29-7. Northland edged Boulder 22-21 in the playoffs, and they each beat Horizon. Northland beat them easily 35-14. Yeah. Overland beat them 21-20.
But, well, talking to some people, you know, to us and to many, that's a real surprise that Overland could dominate Northland. But a lot of people saying, coming out of that Centennial League, you play such a tough schedule all year long that perhaps maybe it's not such a surprise. They're just so strong.
7:07 to go. It's Garcia in motion on 3rd and 11, and Paplow's pass intended for Brueggemann is through the hands of Brueggemann. Also on the play was Joe Barnes. 4th down now. Overland took the opening kickoff and drove downfield, had to settle for a field goal, and they haven't settled since. It has been all Overland in the game. They led at the half 24-7, and they have simply dominated, and that's why they are richly deserving of the big lead right now, leading 37-13 as we approach the 7-minute mark, and the Norsemen approach a 4th and 11. Jeff under pressure. He's been under pressure all day, and Rocky Schneider, who's been magnificent, spun him around and dropped him back at the 43-yard line. Second time they've gotten to Paplow in the game, and it'll be the Trailblazers taking over. Great field position in Northland territory at the 44-yard line.
You're right about Rocky Schneider. He's been in the backfield all day, and that was pretty impressive the way he's able to grab Paplow with one hand and then pull him down, because, as we mentioned a number of times, this kid is elusive, and look at the moves, and he's about to escape again, but one hand on the hip, and Schneider is able to bring him to the ground.
Josh Skinner brings his team to the line. Overland about to win its first state title, and they gave it a Ben Hayes. Big hole inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line, 1st down.
And if you look back at this game, that is the play that Overland's run with consistency, and it's really broken the back of these men, the Norsemen. It's just that off-tackle, quick-hitting play, and this time it's Ben Hayes. During much of the game, it's been Michael Jennings, and it's been wide open all day, and the Norsemen have done little to stop it.
1st and 10 at the 23. And Skinner runs the sneak and gets to about the 19-yard line. A couple of weeks ago when these guys won, the Norsemen that is, when they won their league title, they went to the coach and said, hey, coach, you know, we've shaved our heads. How about you doing likewise? I guess they actually had gone to him before and said, if we win the league, will you do it? And he did. Scott Gallus shaved his head. And I think the word got back to Overland that they had actually shaved their heads after they beat Boulder, the feeling being, well, we beat Boulder, we're going on to win the championship.
Right.
And I think Manfredi used that to his advantage, too.
Yeah. Even if that's not how the story went, Manfredi probably told them that's how it went.
Ben Hayes, big run inside the 5. It's 1st and goal.
And actually, Scott Gallus shaved his head at a school assembly in front of everyone.
Much to the chagrin of his wife, by the way.
Well, that's why he's had the hat on all day.
They have really dominated. An Overland team that came here as an underdog with 3 losses on its season, and they marched right into Five-Star Stadium, and they have simply dominated the game from the very start. 1st and goal. Skinner with the sneak, and there's nobody home. Touchdown, Overland.
Well, they just ran it a minute ago, and you'll see he just takes a step to the left and then back to the right. And as you say, aptly called, no one home for the Norsemen, as they were not expecting that at all. And another just outstanding call by Overland. They just seem to be in every right play call in every right situation.
I wonder if Tony Manfredi is relaxed now.
Probably not.
Morgovsky, who's been nearly perfect on the PATs, he did miss one. He boots this one through there. 4:58 to go. And Overland is just that far away from its first ever state football championship. It's all Trailblazers.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's? No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
She likes milk and it shows. She's got great muscle tone. She likes milk and it shows. Strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and it shows. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. He likes milk and it shows.
Milk does a body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and it shows. It does a body good.
Back on the sidelines, Gary and Jim were wondering if Coach Manfredi was still as intense over here on the Trailblazers sidelines, and I can assure you that indeed he is. Before this last offensive series, he had his quarterback sat down and he had his tailback sat down and was telling them, hey, we've got to control the ball. We've got to move the ball. We've got to control the clock, even though they were up so far. And yes, Tony Manfredi will continue to be that intense for the last 5 minutes or so of this ball game. One other thought I had out here was that even though Northland has been down so far, so long in this game, it's just now that their fans are starting to clear out of the bleachers. And one thing about Northland fans is they are always in support of their team, and they've been pretty vocal today for as down a day as it has been for their team. Gentlemen?
It's true, they hung in there a long time. The fans did, really. Yeah. But I would suggest Tony Manfredi on the far sideline get a lawn chair. I think he can relax now.
You think so? You forget, he's a coach, and there's their latest scoring drive. 4 plays, 44 yards, and what has been impressive has been their drives. Gary, their first 4 drives went 57 yards, 93 yards, 63 yards, 80 yards. They've been controlling the football.
Jeff Paplow and his offense beginning at the 4-yard line, and flags fly prior to the snap.
The whole town's underwater now for North Glen.
Yeah, I think they're just looking to play out the final 4:34 and put this one behind them and say to themselves, you know, we had a great season and one bad day.
And that's a shame. You know, when you go 13-0, you expect to win that last one. You just come in expecting that you are going to be the state champs, and it makes it a little tougher, I think, on these North Glen players.
Betts wide to the left, Brueggemann wide to the right. As Scott Gallus looks on, not much a coach can do right now. Paplow on a slant for Betts. He's got Brannon over the 15 to the 16-yard line. It is a first down for the Norsemen.
I've been in this situation in a championship game, down big, late in the game, 2 Super Bowls that I played in. And it's very difficult, but at this point, what you want to do is just say, I have some pride in myself, in the way that I play, and I want to make sure that I walk off the field knowing I have done everything I can, and even in the waning minutes of the game. And I think that with 2 completions like that, I think you're seeing some class from Northland still out there trying their best.
They're going to give them progress, too, to the 26-yard line, a 10-yard pickup, another first down. So right now, just a question of running the offense and seeing if you can make the score a little bit more respectable. But all the credit in the world to Overland, the kids in the white jerseys today, because they have really done a job. Jeff able to pick up the ball after he fumbled it, runs into Kirshner. It's like hitting a stone wall. Number 44 pushed him back a ways.
Paplow saying, who is that guy?
Get the number of that truck. Jeff's still trying to rally his team. You see him still clapping his hands out there, trying to get them going.
He does almost drop that ball, and then watch. He actually runs into his own player who Kirshner had run into, so that's why he goes down so hard.
Paplow can't get away from Dominguez, number 1, or Rocky Schneider. And also in on the play for Overland, Matt Roberson. So there wasn't much running room for him on that one. It'll be 3rd down coming up, and 3:10 to go before we put this one to rest, and this will be the final 6A state championship game in Colorado. They're going to reclassify and do some restructuring, and no one again will ever be a 6A champion.
And I think it's going to be a 3-year sweep of Centennial League teams in the championship games.
Yeah, Creek Creek 2 years ago, Boulder last year, and now of course it will be Overland. This is a 3rd and 12. Paplow looking for Brueggemann. Rod has it, first down and more. Over the 40, belted by Ricky Jennings to the 43-yard line. The fourth catch of the game for Brueggemann. A first down for North Glen with 2:39.
And again, Paplow, even though this late in the game, still showing his ability as a passer as he guns that one into Brueggemann.
First down for the Norse. Clock moving, 2.5 to go, and now the officials step in and stop it. And Brueggemann shaken up. And the official on the near side was aware of it as Rod went down. And he'll need some help to get to the sideline.
He got back into his position and lined up, and then it would look like he was about to faint almost. He kind of crumbled down to his knees, and I think he just has the wind knocked out of him, because that can certainly make you go to your knees.
Rod replaced in the game by Josh Kalkhorst in for North Glen, number 86. Slot on the left. On the first down, and looking deep for Riggins. It's overthrown, and Gary was bumping all the way with Andrew Mathis, number 25, and Riggins had been forced out of bounds and was coming back in, so I'm not sure they'd have allowed the catch anyway, but quite a bit of contact down this near sideline.
I got a visit yesterday from Floyd Little in our Broncos facility.
Tried to sell you a car, eh?
No, but I had heard him speak once, and as I look at the North Glen players, it reminds me of something that he said, that far better it is to attempt something great and fail than to attempt nothing and succeed. And I don't know why that comes to mind, but when you think of North Glen, at least they gave it their best shot, and even if it's not good enough, as today it won't be, you know, they went out and they attempted to do something great, and when I say great, I mean in terms of athletics, trying to win a state championship, and that's the man that's going to be successful, Tony Manfredi, and I think we have to offer our congratulations on both sides of the football, both sides of the field.
Nice for Tony, because in 12 years as head coach, he hadn't gotten this far. Been at Overland, as we said, for 15 years, the first 3 as an assistant, and really the kind of guy who gave you the impression, hey, we're glad to be there. If we win, great. If we don't, it's still been a wonderful season.
Yeah.
3rd and 10. Looking for Riggins, through Gary's hands and almost intercepted by Mathis. 4th down. And the ice pack and the frustration on the look of one of the Norsemen. Well, Floyd Little is living up in the Seattle area, isn't he, selling cars? So what's he trying to break into Elway territory?
No, he was just coming down, actually promoting a little flag football event that he's got coming up. There's Scott Gallus, and it is disappointing, especially for all the seniors on his team. As he mentioned, they've been playing together since they were 9, 10 years old. It would have been nice to cap this one off with a state championship. It's not to be, but it'll be a celebration time for the Overland Trailblazers.
And on 4th and 10, a first down for the Norsemen. A catch made by Robbie Williams at the 43-yard line of the Trailblazers with 1:56 to go. A big 4th down play, a big completion for the Norsemen there.
Well, in this drive, they've been able to complete a couple of them, and once again, a nice throw, nice tight spiral from Paplow, who, the ever-present competitor, won't give up. I like that.
Yeah, he is exactly that. So I think he's kept his team's head in the game, and they've tried to take it drive by drive on a day when almost nothing went right for them. Offside called against Overland on the play.
And as surprised as we are about the outcome of this game, Overland dominated from start to finish, and you really have to give them credit for doing that.
You get the feeling Tony Manfredi gave a heck of a pregame pep talk. 1st and 5. And Jeff is looking deep. He's going to overthrow Betts in the end zone. Over the shoulder of Scott Gallus. In North Glen, one of their players just waiting for the final minute 26 to expire so the celebration can begin.
I think the celebration's already begun on the Overland sideline. You know what was impressive about Overland, and there you see, there's the Tony Manfredi. He's relaxed. He's finally realized that he's going to win this football game.
You know, he told us before the game earlier in the week, the whole game would ride on how his sophomore quarterback responded, how he took to the pressure, because he knew that the North Glen game plan was to go after a kid who was 15 years old and try and psych him out as quickly as possible. I think we've seen how Josh Skinner and Rocky Schneider there responded today. North Glen now a minute 26 away from the state title.
This is an Apple PowerBook. This is a fax machine. How do you get a proposal from the PowerBook to the fax machine? Like this. So no matter where you are, there you go.
Make your wishes come true at Joslin's. Give Dundee Centennial Towels, made of thick 100% cotton in 13 decorator colors. Generously sized and generously priced. Buy two and save. Necessity or indulgence? Pillowtex down comforters are both the bronze, silver, or gold, all with natural white goose down fill. Give a gift of luxurious warmth and comfort. Make your wishes come true at Joslin's.
1:26 to go. It is Overland, just that far away from their state title, as North Glen tries to keep its drive going on the 2nd down and 6 with the football just outside the 35-yard line. Pablo trying to avoid the rush. Jeff's been spending the whole day running for his life, firing on the run. It's behind Garcia at the 10-yard line.
Pablo has to be saying they've got 13, 14, 15 guys on the other side of the ball, because I got guys in my face. I look downfield, all I see are white jerseys, and again, credit Overland for the outstanding defense. I wonder if they'll shave his head.
Oh, I don't think Tony would go for that.
You don't think Tony would go for that, do you? Probably saying, I've been in this too long. I deserve this, and I'm not shaving my head for celebration.
3rd down and 5 at the 36. And Pablo is hit and down. And in the ball game is Mike Jimenez, 5'10", 171-pound sophomore, making a big play in a championship game. 4th down coming up, and less than a minute to go before we put this one to rest.
He got the nice ponytail coming out the back there. 5th time that Pablo has been dropped behind the line of scrimmage attempting to pass.
It's 4th and 10. Jeff's made a couple of these to keep this drive going, bidding for another for Betts, and the ball knocked away beautifully by Andrew Mathis. Mathis, who hurt his knee in the Mullen game, had arthroscopic surgery, back today, not reclaiming his starting role, but playing quite a bit in the ball game. And as North Glen's offense leaves the field, its fans, loyal as they are, giving them a standing ovation. And on the far side, the celebration continues.
And why not? They've had a heck of a year. High school kids out there trying their best.
We should see the final play of the game right now, and Overland has put in Joel Baller at quarterback. He'll take a knee, and I think that should be it. 20 seconds to go. I don't think either one of the teams, Jimmy's going to want to stop the clock now.
No. Absolutely not. And as it does wind down, we have to choose a player of the game. It's difficult. We were talking about it the last break. It's tough.
Yeah, we had a couple of choices there. Obviously, it'll be an Overland kid following their 44-13 win that earns them their first ever state football championship. as you can see, it's Tony Manfredi with the bounce in his step as he congratulates Northland on its fine season, but it was all Overland today.
Well, they can say they're number one. Every team, every player that ever sees a camera usually points into it, we're number one. Well, Overland can say it with conviction.
Well, Jim, the choice has been made. News 4 and your local dairy farmers proud to present the Player of the Game award to Mike Jennings of Overland. He was tremendous on the ground when this game was still very much up for grabs. Wound up with 149 yards rushing and a touchdown, and it could have gone to Skinner. It could have gone to Ben Hayes, maybe Rocky Schneider, who was so outstanding on defense, but our choice is Mike Jennings. Overland has won the state 6A title. Downstairs we go, Washington.
Keep the guys here for the trophy.
You hear it. He's still coaching down here, getting everything settled and in order. Coach, you've won the championship.
Yes, we are. We're the state champ for 93. I couldn't feel any better. This is fantastic. I love it.
It was a fourth quarter that seemed like it would never end for you.
Oh, man. I mean, every time I looked up, it was stopped. 7 minutes, 5 minutes, seemed like forever. But it's over, and we're the 93 champ. I can't believe it.
And you were a little worried we wouldn't get off the air by 2:30 because something happens at that point.
Yeah, my VCR goes off. I got to get all this on for my brother back home. This is one for my dad, too. He died a few years ago. It's for him, my family. This is great. That's for you, Pop. For him.
Lot of emotion down here, gentlemen. We'll try and round up a couple of more people to talk to. Send it back up to you for now.
A really nice scene on the field with Tony, and of course, as you might expect, the despondent group of Norsemen as they talk to their coach, Scott Gallus, or hear at least from their coach, Scott Gallus, following our game. Not much a coach can say, I would think, Jim.
No, there really isn't, and for the Overland Trailblazers, you saw the emotion from Tony Manfredi, and that's something when you win a championship, it seems to just cause a flood of emotions. But for the large majority of those young men, it's something they'll remember for the rest of their lives, winning a state championship, because the large majority of them will not get to move on to another level of competition in football. So it's something they'll always remember for the time that they played on the gridiron.
And I hope the Northland kids remember that they were one of two teams to get here. So a major accomplishment in itself. Back downstairs to Marshall.
Back down with the player of the game, Michael Jennings. How does it feel to have this one in such a big way?
Great. Everything is great. I just love it. It's the atmosphere, teammates, everybody. I just love it. I feel like crying, but I'm not. But everybody is just, I love it. It's great.
When did you guys feel like you had it won?
Before the game. Before the game.
I think you've got a state championship trophy to go accept. Congratulations.
Northland accepting, of course, the second place trophy, and Overland about to get the prize. They have worked really since practice began in August 4. Bert Boardman down there from the High School Activities Association presenting the prize to Tony Manfredi and his kids. Wins the state 6A title. We're back for the final wrap-up in just a moment.
Now McDonald's always has one extra value meal for $2.99. Might be this one, this one, this one, or to find out which extra value meal is $2.99, go to your local McDonald's. Because if you want to know, you gotta go. Come on, no food fights. You know McDonald's extra value meals come with golden fries and icy Coca-Cola, right? Good. You know there's now always one on the menu for $2.99. Okay. And you know which extra value meal is $2.99 at your McDonald's. No? Well, if you want to know, you gotta go.
Isn't this fabulous? The girls at the club told me about it. I've been dying to see it. You'll grow into the payments.
Let's call a Metro broker.
And off the master bedroom is, of course, the master bathroom. Isn't that beautiful? Or it will be once you rip out that awful tile. On with the tour.
Honey, let's call a Metro broker.
Metro brokers understand that real estate isn't just property. It's people.
Take a look at what Europtics offers. Thousands of frames from the world's best designers, real choice, and great style, plus the quality that made Europtics famous. Through December the 31st, you can buy one pair of eyewear at regular price and get the next one of equal or lesser value at half price. We think you'll do a double take. Fine instruments for your eyes at Europtics in Cherry Creek, Greenwood Village, and now in the Tabor Center.
Today's 6A state championship game has been brought to you in part by McDonald's, by your local dairy farmers, by Joslin, by Metro Brokers, by Total, and by First Federal Bank.
Overland a winner, 44-13, and to our friend Jim Ryan, thank you, Jimmy. It's been a pleasure.
I enjoyed it, Gary. Thank you.
Final score is 44-13. The executive producer of News Sports Coverage is Tom Edwards. Today's game produced by Gene Brock-Reedy, directed by Terry Travato. Our engineer in charge is Dan Reese. For Jim Ryan and Marcia Neville, I'm Gary Miller. So long from Five Star Stadium in Thornton. And this has been a presentation of News 4 Sports, your home for high school sports.